What's good? What's good? What's goody? Yo, B-Boys Underground Forever, episode number 7, double feature. 2 special guests tonight. We've got, first and foremost, we got the artist Isiah Ollie, and then after him, man, we're US DMC champion DJ Tobe. Let's get into it. We got our co-hosts, Big Weez. What's good, fam?
Not much, man. As y'all know, it's the boy Big Weez, the Box State Barbarian. Wishing everybody a happy Turkey Day Eve. Get your food and your grub on. Let's do it.
Yes, yes. And we got the one and only G-Fresh. What's good, fam?
What's up, B-Boys Underground Forever? That's how we do it. G-Fresh, always doing something fresh, nothing stale. And we're going to do this. Let's gobble, gobble till you can't wobble. We're going to play some music while y'all preparing. There we go.
Happy Thanksgiving. Absolutely. Then we got Isiah Ollie. What's good, fam?
What's going on, world? I'm Isiah Ollie. Happy to be here. Like the movement that you guys got going on with this B-Boys Underground Forever. Proud supporter and ready to get into the mix. What's going on?
Absolutely. And last but certainly not least, US DMC champion, DJ Tobe. What's good, fam?
What is up, humans? Thanks for having me. Looking forward to this evening. And yes, happy Native Humans sacrifice.
Yes. For real, for real. Yes. Well, hey, y'all. It's B-Boys Underground. Don't forget to hit that like button, that subscribe button, all those buttons that we ask you to hit, that we have to ask you to hit. Don't forget to do it so we don't have to just keep begging you for it, right? That's what we'll do. We're going to go in with the understanding that I don't have to bother you with that anymore. So, Isiah Ollie.
Yes, sir.
You, formerly known as Exclusive, we had you tentatively scheduled a couple weeks back. Got you this week. Thank you so much for being on the show. Tell us, since when we first booked you till today, you've gone through a rebranding.
Yeah.
Definitely want to know what this has been like. What kind of undertaking have you had to go through to get all of the content that you already have linked up with how you step forward and move forward?
I'm still going through the motions of that right now, actually, but it's a journey. Obviously, when you're starting over creatively, you worry about whether your original fans, if they still gonna be able to tap in with you. So you want to do as much as you can to give people what they used to having while reintroducing yourself to the world. So that name, Exclusive, is something, a moniker that I've carried for well over 10 years, So it was kind of hard to say goodbye to him, but, it was something that I felt was necessary and needed to be done.
Absolutely. So, you've got all of your content across multiple platforms, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be an undertaking in itself.
It is. So I'm
Where
approaching
can
it
artists
right
start? If you got artists, because that happens all the time. Tell us about that.
Well, the first thing you need to do is some people approach it differently. So I didn't want for it to be such a dramatic change, because I do got my regulars, the people who tune in with me often and tap into all of my releases. So I left the page Exclusive up on the streaming platforms for the moment, as I'm reintroducing Isiah Ollie to the world. And but essentially, you pull everything down, and you put it under your new moniker, and it's kind of like throwing a dice out there. You hope that the people follow.
Word. So we've got your link tree up on the screen, and for everybody that is in there, all the social for both of our guests tonight are in the description for the YouTube and Facebook description. So don't forget to hit that. And here is his link tree. to be able to go and check this out. It takes you directly, and this one will take you to the YouTube channel, and you can get into actual everything.
Yeah, that was one of the last. Yeah, that was one of the last videos that I dropped under exclusive. The stalker type that you just saw right there.
Yeah. Let's see here. Can you hear the audio on this right now? You can't.
No.
Hold on for a second. I didn't share the audio. We can get into it if you'd like to get into that right now.
You look like a baby on that.
That's fine by me.
He said,
I got many different appearances depending on how I tame this beast right here.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Let's sample this right quick.
Now if you ever had my love and you the stalking type, I know what keeps you up at night. He won't love you right. Won't be mine for the night. I'm the one your girlfriends like, but you won't let me go without a fight. And you know I'll be right. Yeah. Now you've been cramped up way too long. It's almost over, baby, hold on. Remain calm, no pressure. Cause he gon' notice if you acting extra. Let him find out it's okay. Murder on my waist, big stick, don't play. Dirty wine on my mind. It's about 9, that's pleasure time. Get yours, I'ma get mine. Hit the finish line, we come at the same time. When you throw it like that, I could go crazy. Now you gon' fuck around and have my baby. Holy water, go on and bless me. Pop quiz, go on and test me. Know I love you, mama. Say hi to Miss Bessie. She call me son, cause I'm shining when I'm flexing. You ever had my love and you the stalking type? I know what keeps you up at night. He won't love you right. Won't be mine for the night. I'm the one your girlfriends like, but you won't let me go without a fight. And you know I'll be right.
Salute, man.
Caribbean vibe.
Yeah, man. That's one thing. The original reason why I picked the name Exclusive way back when I was a shorty. So my music, like, I got a way of approaching a track to where, like, no one song is ever the same. You know what I mean? Everything got, like, a different vibe to it. It's consistent, but everything has its own exclusive vibe to it, and that's why I originally had that moniker.
That was going to be one of my comments to you as I was going through your catalog earlier, preparing. Yeah. I was going to compliment you on the fact that you do have a wide breadth of songs and variety in your catalog. So salute to you. I mean, the one thing that I really celebrate is folks that are willing, that to show their individuality and not just put on, the standard typical hip hop persona, right? It's you allow yourself to show that you're and just to show that you're a human and and be unique, and being you is what makes you fresh, right? So like and you just gotta be comfortable in yourself, and those are the artists that are the genuine ones that people can connect with. So salute to you on that.
I like to say I wear my heart on my sleeve, man. Anything that I talk about, most of the time is something that I feel real passionate about, and other times I'm just having fun on this record. You know what I mean?
So, what is it that inspires you?
Man, I want to say life in general. I'm a consumer of music, so I like a lot of these cats out here, and I just try to fill a void for what I feel like is missing. That's my inspiration. Another inspiration I say be my kids. They big fans of my music, so I try to make sure that it's substance filled, that I'm talking about something, because I know my son will be playing that with his friends when he get to school the next week after I drop a song. So yeah, that's real important to me, to make sure that there's always some type of underlying message behind the music, and it's something that represents me, represents my city, represents Black culture represents the American culture. I don't like to fit inside of any one general box. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna play the roles of everything that was a part of my upbringing, everything that forces me to feel a way in society. You know what I mean?
Salute to that. Fresh, did you have a question you were going to ask?
Speaking of your city.
No, go ahead, Weez. Go ahead, Weez.
Oh, go ahead, Fresh. Sorry.
No, Weez, you good. I can hold my.
No, go ahead, Fresh.
I mean, just like when you talked about that.
Well, you're speaking of your city.
Weez.
I think you're on a delay, Weez.
Oh, that might be it. Yeah.
He's on a delay. I think you're listening to the Twitch feed or a secondary feed, not the StreamYard feed. So go ahead, Fresh.
Well, as Isiah Ollie, because you talking about it, sound like well-rounded artist. What was your inspirations to jump into the hip hop atmosphere, and what was your early influences to get you where you are right now?
And some of it gonna sound cliche. Like a lot of artists start off as poets. So I was a big writer in grade school, and I just was in love with the whole hip hop culture. Artists from my hometown like Twista and Do or Die. Big consumer East Coast rap music. The greats on the West Coast. Just seeing those cats do their thing. And I always feeling like I had a voice. Something that I wanted to get out there to the masses. I knew it was something special that I had to offer to the game. So I always just cultivated on the craft. And over the years, it's got better and better and better and better and better.
Indeed.
As far as people, I would say Tupac Shakur played a big influence on the way I rap. Biggie, Jay-Z. It's a lot of them out there that I like for various different reasons, but that was the core. Probably what inspired me. Those cats right there.
Any big Chicago artists that was doing it before while you was coming up that kind of caught your ear?
I would say probably for the most part Twista, like I mentioned before, Do or Die, Kanye West, Common, obviously. But yeah.
Okay.
So I try to break in. I try to break into or break out of the standard box. And the younger guys did it, when they the drill scene kind of took over the music industry. That's obviously not my style of music, but I was happy to see the city win. When Kanye West first broke, that was another great victory for the city, and I really appreciated those things happening. But on the whole, a lot of people don't like dealing with Chicago artists. They don't like I would say the stigma that comes with people from the city of Chicago.
Are you saying that the current generation, like the drill rap, or are you? Yeah.
I'm just. This goes way back before even drill rap. It's just something about the vibe of the city of Chicago that make it hard for an artist to break. So to see any of those guys do it, that was kind of an awesome feat. I've done a lot of traveling throughout my career. And I recognized a negative undertone in the music industry when speaking about people from Chicago, for whatever reason that is.
Interesting.
I mean, one of the biggest hip hop records of all time came out of Chicago, and that's I Used to Love Her. Common.
I knew you was gonna say that.
The first time I ran that through, the first time I listened to, I still remember it. I just listening to the entire story and then figuring it out towards the end and what he was doing. Just crazy.
Yeah,
so that comes.
That joint was a classic. But again, there was a lot of controversy to that song when it originally dropped.
Ice Cube.
Yeah.
That was a big beef in hip hop too. That's hip hop history in itself.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you the question: who won that beef in your opinion, Common or Cube?
Hey
I'm
man,
putting you on the spot.
I love Ice Cube, but I have to give it to Common. I'm biased though. I'm from here, you know what I mean? But I take nothing away from Cube. That's a great artist. That was another influential. I didn't mention him before, but that cat was real influential in that whole movement of NWA and everything that transpired after.
Yes,
I study powerful people, and Cube is a powerful person. He was able to tap into the movie business, and he got writing credits on a lot of people records.
absolutely.
Very, very true.
Fresh. Just a side note to that, the memory that goes along with Common's response. So, B Boys Underground was originally a radio show on Cincinnati 88.3 WAIF,
Okay.
and I remember you and I had rode to the show together because we had just got that Common's response. And I remember the night that we played that live on the air, and it was like one of the first. We were the first in the city to actually have it and drop it, and even the phone calls were lighting up and everything. That was a huge response because that he did hit him with an uppercut with that one. Yes.
Yes. And the back and forth actually, where it wasn't a serious beef, where, wasn't nobody getting hurt. It was just words and, it was just, it pushed hip hop forward on, okay, somebody said this, I'm gonna come back and say this. And,
Yeah.
it's all good, did
I hate to see artists like take music and it turn into a street thing, you know what I mean? But I do really appreciate.
absolutely.
I think it's the back and forth and the competitive nature of hip hop that's excelled it and made it. I
If
would
it
say,
stays that way, it's beautiful.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, you're right on that with Isiah Ali. Yeah, that's it stayed in that hip hop realm of competition opposed to like, let's take it to the streets because hip hop came out of the streets and whatnot. But that stayed pretty much, like, all right, you come with this, I'm gonna come with that, and people was
yeah.
it
But when
brought
it
more
stay
attention.
kosher, kosher like that, man, you get some of the best verses out of people, some of the best content, and that's something that I always love about hip hop.
Yes, sir. And so, Big Weeze, you had a question that
Yes,
you were
sir.
going to ask.
Yeah, being from Chicago, and you have a lot of greats or a lot of talent that's coming out of Chicago. And we were talking about the competitive nature of verses. How do you compete among those artists that are already put on for the city on those major labels and major levels? How do you, as an artist from Chicago, speaking to other artists, how do you make yourself present?
I mean, I think what make any great artist nowadays, you gotta have something different to bring to the table. You know what I mean? I don't look at it. There's always gonna be that competition factor in it, but at the same time, I'm not really in it to compete with nobody. I'm in it to tell my life story. If I'm gonna compete with somebody, it's gonna be based on the technicals. It's gonna be based on the merit of how I rhyme. It's gonna be who makes better songs. And I don't have if we talking major label artists, I don't have anything that's ever broke to that level to where you can't compare like apples and oranges. You know what I mean? So I believe it's a time and a place for stuff like that. When I'm in that platform, then I'll be able to look back and say, all right, the level of success that I made, I can compare myself to this person or that person. But right now, I'm just trying to get my message out and deliver what my fans expect of me. And I believe a lot of this is about consistency, especially when you're a new artist or you're trying to rebrand yourself. Anytime somebody type in that name, Isiah Ollie, now, you drop a single, follow that with another single, maybe drop an EP or an album or something like that. They want to know that you're going to consistently give them what they came to hear the very first time that they clicked on that page. And when you do switch up, you steady got to break the bar and demanding yourself better and attack the mic better and, you know, just do things that ain't never been done before. That's kind of what I feel like my job is. I don't know if I answered your question directly, Weezy, but
Well
you know,
said.
I felt, you know.
No, absolutely. It's the content and the product that you're pushing out consistently, and a lot of up and coming artists that are underneath don't understand it's a consistent thing when it comes to making music. The moment you stop, you come forgotten. And,
absolutely,
you know,
people attention span,
establish yourself,
especially people attention span, especially with the advent of like TikTok and stuff like that. You got them for 10, 15 seconds. People want to be impressed real quick, but they're gonna move the hell on. It's simple to swipe left or swipe right and be done with you, you know. So while you got somebody attention, even if it's 5 seconds, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, you know, impress while you got while the light on you. You know what I mean?
Make the best of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit them hard. Hit them when a fire and the steel is hot.
Yeah. So I restarted Instagram page, like everything, and slowly but surely, you know, re-engaging with people who know me. They see the picture and be like, "Oh, that's Buddy from that's exclusive," you know. But I want to get that name out of there, and I just want to be known as Isiah Ollie.
What's Buddy? That was like a nickname.
So I'm talking about myself. It wasn't a nickname. That's how we talk in Chicago. Hey, Buddy over there.
Oh, I got you.
It's a whole different language over there. At least they don't say Joe as much anymore.
Slightly. And then it matters. It's a generational gap with the language too. Some of the stuff that come out of my son's mouth, I'll be like, man, what is he speaking? What language is that, bro?
Oh, that's funny. When the kid, I mean, I guess it turns the page where we set our language to our parents, and our kids saying something, now the grandkids saying stuff that it's like, so we 2 steps behind that. It keeps going, you know. It's part of hip hop and the culture.
That's also, like you just said, that's a part of the culture.
All right.
So
go ahead, Ghost. Yeah, I want to hear some more.
Yeah, so that's what I was getting ready to get into and was going to ask you if there was, you know, if we take a look at your catalog on YouTube, if there was, out of what we've got up on the screen, see here, go to your videos. If there was a video that you'd like for us to play.
I mean, I like them all.
I know it's a hard question.
I would say go back up to the top. This I'm not greedy on when it comes to stuff, you know. So I want to play the one that I did a feature with some other Chicago artists. This one came out pretty dope. I'm the last verse on this record. I don't know how much time you want to let it play for, but some pretty talented cats. Total Slaughter. That's featuring a guy by the name of Vic Spencer. We had Dosage and a host on that joint. Johnny Guns. And yeah, that was a pretty good vibe, just on some hip hop shit, you know.
So what we can do, this is your segment. This is we appreciate you being on your show. This is your time. So if you would like for it to play all the way out, we'd be more than happy to let it ride out.
Hey man, let it run.
We gotta get to your verse.
My bad. All right, I'm back to earth. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Look, it's true romance. I took Chrissy and Slater. Yeah, I'm on my filthy behavior. We grind the wintertime to wintertime. We put a food on the table, but we ain't never home by dinner time. I know some straight drillers. I'm not from ATL, but I got brave hitters. Take your picture with me and picture dreams. I'm John Smokes. Be beat it up in the elevator. Shout out Salon's nose. And then I kicked her out, cause I ain't like the long toes. Can't box the shit I kick, I'm kickboxing, I'm tongue pole. No John Claude though. I dip my fists in the glass. They don't wanna see me kicking their ass. I'm torching everything in sight. You see the drift in the ash. See it? Tomorrow's never promised. You get clipped in the flash. Yeah. You might get clipped in the dash.
Sharpen your blade or get engaged with a gauge. Most niggas don't know how to flip page. Read the science, you niggas lying. I'm eyeing your chick titties. House on the hills, get with me. I get adjacent and everything is in placement. Old as hell, niggas. Golden hot water is will, nigga. Niggas fishing like whales, nigga. My knot big. All these hoes talking that shit. You still a thought, bitch. If I get in trouble, I go dig up the grave of Johnny Cochran. Most of these rap niggas is nonsense. Bomb threat, that's what I am. A 16-year-old nigga with 16 bars and ham. Thanksgiving, I live it because I spit it. Itching to kill, killing that wheel. Yeah, I did it. I did that shit. Killing motherfuckers' albums with a snippet. Fuck it, I got no budget. My all, I'm gonna give it.
You don't know what I be going through. Got the FEDs watching me when I'm on the move. Everything I've seen, not a soul alive, I told it to. That's what you supposed to do. Don't nobody get close to you. It's the Vatican flow. Rappers, caskets get close. Ace spray bottles, package and gold. Gasket is sold. Waiting on another ship, man. I'm tracking the code. Cook it up, basket and roll. This what you asking me for. Cause I'll be happy to go. I'm getting paid regardless. After this, don't ask me no more. Your upper vascular swole. Doesn't mean you actually strong. Pockets, we asking for lows. Back to the feds, tapping the phones. We cracking your bones. Relaxing at home.
Knowing you the nigga to watch. Niggas hating you high. They hate more that they can bury you not. Convertible rooftop, so they can see me better. Oh, that's a hell of a knot. It get a pussy wetter. Since 15, been self-employed, I got my own cheddar. What up with the sneak dissing? Send it with the long header. Do smile, cause it's gonna be a while for me. No ticket, boy, my hitters lay it down for free. It's not your fault that your bitch made a Nama G. I got ties in Holy City, know they proud of me. You snub my hand, you are not a friend. You play me pussy, get you fucked like you not a man. Swallow the clip, he never seen it coming off of the hip. Don't give a fuck about who he is, he ain't hotter than this. Might look sweet, but we never lacking. Family full of murderers. Please don't make me murder you. Why you wanna worry us? Dog, I'm a Windy City warrior. Money moved by carrier, livery and cellular. Lately I've been trying to be smooth, so I'm chilling by my lonely. Ain't fucking with you. If it's up there, then it's stuck. They only follow the rules. He was just illustrated cause his life a cartoon. High noon, I be shooting shit, I aim at the moon. Turn your white t-shirt maroon.
Okay, then.
Salute.
Yeah, I like that joint. No hook or nothing, just vibes, you know.
Right, just one
I
after
like the
another.
different styles.
And me too. And then you batted cleanup, bro. You came in the fourth batter. Like, I'm gonna hit this out the park. Yeah, and I mean you had some spitters on there, so you cleaned up real nice on that one, and the track was nice.
And these days, I'm pretty secluded. I stick to myself a lot, you know, so it's always appreciated when I can get to work with other artists throughout the city, you know.
That's from 2021. This says 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Who produced that track?
Guy by the name of Custom Beats.
Okay. Is he out of Chicago as well?
He is, man. He one of those producers that I've really grown to. I respect this guy's work ethic so much, man. I did a whole EP with Custom. It was entitled God Self. And that other video you saw on the page, that was the single that we released from that project. That was a dope project, too.
Let's see here. Is that on your Spotify? Is that underneath your formerly known as exclusive?
It's a video on the whole album or just the single?
Well, we can check out the video if you've got a video. I was going to your Spotify. It said God Self.
Yeah. That project, I would imagine by the end of but probably the first or second week of December, everything should be fully switched over.
I found it.
So they'll be able to find all this stuff under Isiah Ollie.
This was one of the ones that I had checked out from earlier.
Yeah. The message in this song and that song is crazy, so that's one that I really enjoy making.
Let's get into it.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. I ain't trying to do nothing, no. The motherfucking room. These days I'm so reckless with my life. I should give it up to Christ, cause he made something right here. You a God when your mind elevated and your soul levitating. Watch me float just like Poseidon. I see better in the night when the light don't shine. Tend to free my mind. Prep the shit we shooting light years. Space bound trying to save my kind. Got the course from Sebit up in the celestial where I'll be if you let me. Be great, life's a piece of cheesecake. I'm no longer stuck on planet Earth, let me be frank. You wanna change the world, you gotta use your think tank. Manifest a higher frequency, defeat time, defeat space. Particle accelerator, head slicing you see. Or you can't find it from within, I bet you find it in me. Seek balance, that's the goal in any challenge. You wasting energy, you seek malice. Light shine from within upon yourself, would you sin? If you knew the universe was created in men, or you too dumb to ascend? God is one with the men. You know flesh of my flesh, metaphorical gem. I'm a magician smoking wood from the hollow tree. Now I'm Aristotle, Plato, little Socrates. Civilized minds would do well not to rock with me. I'm not a soldier, but it's war if I so decree. What you seeing in the clouds when you open your eyes? There's not a bird, not a plane, just one hell of a guy. I realized death is real when I was still waist high. And for us, that was the first and the last time I cried. The city make you numb, who need dope when there's adrenaline. A million haters lurk around the corner, wanna finish him, I'm out. These days, I'm so reckless with my life. I should give it up to Christ, cause he made something right here. You a God when your mind elevated and your soul levitating. Watch me float just like Poseidon. I see better in the night when the light don't shine, tend to free my mind. Prep the shit we shooting light years. Space bound, trying to save my kind. Back and forth, anxiety on the pendulum. Don't get hypnotized, watching this bitch swing. Kinda feeling old now. Kylie almost 15. Lee is taller than Trent now. Isaiah's a freestyle king. Unless he's got my mother's intuition. All comfortable in the skin and she really got vision. Just listen, limitations in life is what you dream. Most suffer cause they dream small things. I know everything you are. You amazing shining star. Blessed the day my seed was born. All is rhyme amazing art. They gon' play it in the car. They gon' play it near far. They gon' play a piece of wall all through the boulevard. Too humble for keeping score. Doesn't matter to me no more. I evolved to a different plane. God self, a la carte, what you want. Knowing that you're translucent. Why you from? You and me are not congruent. I'm a dumb. These days I'm so reckless with my life. I should give it up to Christ, cause he made something right here. You a God when your mind elevated and your soul levitating. Watch me float just like Poseidon. I see better in the night when the light don't shine, tend to free my mind. Prep the shit we shooting light years. Space bound, trying to save my kind. God damn. Boy spit. On some real shit. Metaphysical, something you can feel shit. I don't even know where the fuck I be going. Space bound, no motherfucking destination. Levitating.
Salute, exclusive.
Ooh-wee.
How did y'all feel? I'm curious how y'all felt about that joint.
Yes.
Who wanna go first?
That boy said, Plato, young Socrates. I was done.
Yeah, man.
The whole meaning to that whole project was, I think the universe is made out of the same thing. Whatever the stars and the sun and the planets is made out of, that's the same stuff that we made out of. So we are gods, and I think we should respect ourselves as being such.
You
That
went
was the
deep, and
general message to the song.
it made you close your eyes to actually, but you had to keep them open to see the video. I mean, it was simple and to the point, but it was like close. Cause the beat was dope. Who produced that beat as well? Like
That was also by the same guy. So I did,
custom beats.
yeah, we did a collabo project.
Customs.
Him on all the beats and me on all the lyrics.
Yeah, that made
Shout
you
out Custom Beats.
close your eyes, bob your head, and just let it sink in and absorb. Yeah,
That
that was
was
very
one of my
dope, man.
favorite projects. I argued with some people. What date? You able to see what date that video dropped? I don't remember.
June
But it was
5th,
somewhere around.
2020.
Yeah, so this around the pandemic. That's when everybody was going crazy at each other's heads on social media. It was a lot of people I had to unfollow, you know, based on
Very divisive
uh,
time.
they thought it was some type of something demonic about the video or something. They wasn't really listening to the message and thought I was like disrespecting Christ. Everybody, I'm not I'm a spiritual guy. You can say that I'm religious. I do believe in Christ's energy and stuff like that, but some people miss the whole point of the song. So I do remember going back and forth with not a lot of people, but it was a select few individuals who wanted to paint the picture of the song, saying it's sacrilegious and stuff like that. And I don't really see it that way.
Well,
I didn't either.
the thing that for me it resonated because it is all about figuring out how to master your inner self and become at peace with your inner self, right? Because ultimately,
Exactly.
as you speak to your inner self, some say manifest all of these different things, but if you speak to your inner self kindly and not critically, and
Yeah.
be and forgive yourself, that's the biggest thing, to be able to understand that you're in a human experience and go on. And it's huge about mental health, right? So mental health
Yep.
month,
Very,
mental
very.
health awareness. So you
Some
had that
people,
messaging in there.
some people willing to follow the guidelines of like society and keep promises to the world, but incapable of keeping promises to themselves. I believe you can't really. You gotta have that integrity to where you'll make the same promises to yourself and expect yourself to keep them. As making that, it's like shaking another man's hand. I can shake hands with my soul, basically, and that's one of another tool that I use to kind of advance. You got to be able to make and keep promises to yourself. That'll get you further in life than anything, in my opinion.
I would say this
That
too.
was that was another gem that was in that song.
Shout out to you, Isiah Ollie, formerly known as Exclusive. That, and you said it's 3 years old. Timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 20.
Yeah.
That was 2020. Yeah. I took
That
a
could have
hiatus,
been.
so I haven't really released much in the last like year or two. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
No. We interviewing you, but I'm just saying that could have been. That could have been 2008. That could be 2028. It's still.
Yeah,
The
It's
hook.
like I couldn't tell that it was made 3 years ago. It sounded like it's something relevant, but it sounded like something you'd be playing in a rotation. That was made 10 years ago. So you made
I
some. That
appreciate
sounded
it.
really timeless.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
The hook
That's
is
the
really
ultimate
helping
goal
it
to,
go.
to you know to make something
Yes.
to where people ain't gonna forget about it 30
Yeah. So
days
your music
later.
don't fit into that year. It fits into
Yeah,
the next year, the year, and 5 years before and after. That I feel like you did a really good job with that. And it sound like you and Custom Beats, like you said earlier, y'all really had a niche going where y'all understood each other as producer and artist and beat
yeah.
maker and artist and all of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I encourage
Kudos. Kudos, bro.
everybody, anybody that's listening, to definitely go check out that project. It'll soon be available under Isiah Ollie on all the streaming platforms. But if you wanted to listen to that project today, be under exclusive. The title of that project again is called God's Self, and it's a collaboration between myself and Custom Beats out of Chicago, Illinois.
What we'll do is we're gonna put in the link in all of the chats on all the different platforms that we're streaming on. Right there is the link to the actual video.
Yeah.
And there's no thing such as shameless plugs. Plug, plug, plug. Let everybody know. Tell them
Especially
what
now
to do.
more than ever because of the fact that you are in the middle of rebranding, right? So what are your next steps in regards to, the rebranding, and what do you have plans for in regards to any type of new drops? Do you have any new projects that you've got coming out that we should be on the lookout for?
I got so much music to release to the public right now that it's kind of hard for me to decide what to drop first. I just dropped a single about a week ago and posted that up online last week. It's called Reflections, and I think I chose that song because it's a good representation of where I am as an artist today. So again, I'll plug that. Do go check out Reflections. Available on all streaming platforms. Isiah Ollie, and I believe I should have a video coming to that one in about 2 or 3 weeks. I got this other song called Hayugan. This is also a special record. It's more upbeat. That first joint that I dropped was kind of had a slow feel to it. The words and everything, the vibe is there, and especially Reflections fits this time of the year. I wanted to drop it during like the holiday seasons when people normally not outside, inside, reflecting on everything that happened throughout the year and preparing to make their New Year's resolutions in a couple months.
Good idea.
But yeah,
You said that's
I got a
on your
lot.
YouTube page right now?
No, I haven't dropped a video for that, but
My apologies. I was looking
that'll
for.
be coming in probably about 2 weeks. I think it'll drop the second week of December. And but I got a single that'll be dropping next week. Look for that one. It's called Hayugan. And then I'm gonna follow that one up with a joint called Wifey. If you like y'all seem to be fans of Common. This kinda had I didn't it has Isiah Ollie all over it, but this is something that might have came out of that tape deck. The vibe of this is super smooth, and I think I just played that song so well. So I can't wait to get that one out, but I can't release everything at one time, so I'm gonna space it out and continue my rebranding process, and I'm gonna drop stuff as the time calls for.
B-Boys Underground forever. Hey, he's dropping these gems. Go get at it now. Every listener, he's giving you all his energy, his passion. Go check it out, please, man. We appreciate everybody that's listening, man. Yeah, you're doing great, man. I'm feeling it, and we're gonna help support the rebranding process with you. We right there
I
with you,
appreciate
bro.
that.
You doing it
Oh
right
man,
here on our show. Love it.
And I just put in the links for all the chats, the links to your Spotify page, your new Spotify page. So, boom.
appreciate that. It's kind of naked right now. We got one song up there, but like I said, over the course of the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna bring back as I'm dissolving the exclusive page. I'm gonna bring back some of the fan favorites, and but I want to get this new wave. I want to bring all my listeners to where I'm at right now, and then I want us to grow together.
Amen.
Absolutely. Well, was there anything else that you would like to get into or discuss?
Man, I hope everybody have a blessed holiday. First and foremost, I'm always here when anybody need me, so never hesitate. We was just talking about that mental health thing. A lot of people go through stuff during the holiday time. I'm only a message away. Do reach out to me. I always respond back to fans. And nothing is off limits when it comes to talking to me. We can address any issues. I wish everybody a happy holiday, a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. I appreciate you guys having me on the platform. Shout out to my homie Weezy. It's my first time getting to know you guys. Go Boogie and G Dash Fresh. It was a pleasure sitting here conversing, with y'all, man. And I'll be more than happy to come back to the show anytime.
A question. I did have a question. Uttermost Music Group. Want to talk about that a little bit? Is that your moniker or your group distribution, or is it just for your music, or is there other artists involved?
So I got other artists that will be coming out under Uttermost Music real soon. I originally started Uttermost as an outlet. A lot of people don't know, like, the industry knowledge that I got. You know what I mean? So I started Uttermost as a way to help out other artists. They're still in its developmental stages right now. But yeah, that's a company that I own. Split up into two different factions. So there's Uttermost Publishing Company and Uttermost Music Group. A lot of people don't know, but I'm also an engineer and stuff as well. So I do some talent development and stuff like that, and that's the platform that I use for that. And I also drop my music and stuff through there as well.
You say engineer, music engineer, or you actually?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of the tracks that you'll hear online, I'm the man that's behind the boards on those. I just send them out to get mastered. Not all projects. I have worked with other engineers over the years, but the stuff that you guys are gonna hear coming out now, I'm heavy behind the boards on them.
That's dope. I knew Toby was gonna put his Tobot was gonna put his thumb up on that.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, dope, man, dope. Go ahead, Ghost Boogie.
Nah, I mean, you've got your hands in everything, and that's dope as far as being an artist and having a direction. You've shot some videos already, like you said, that's getting ready to release and come out. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Definitely let us know. I've subscribed, notification bells. Make sure you follow Isiah Ollie, y'all. Big. Again, you're welcome 100% of the time back on. Anytime that you got anything that you want to drop or you have anything like that, our platform is more than welcome to have you. And
I appreciate
it. And also, I want to extend an offer to you because we are currently in the works of organizing the first B-Boys Underground MC battle online here. So if you want to get down and be a part of that.
Yes, sir.
What are the dates for it? Or is that still in the works?
That's in the works. We're getting that all solid. Weez, do you have any more information?
Putting a lotion on it.
I'm with it, man. Y'all just send me a message and let me know when, the time, place, and I'll be there, brother.
MCs, judges, producers, yeah.
I know
that's something I never got really. I did that a lot early in my career, but it's something that I would love to get back to. That's also a passion of mine.
Nice. Now I know, Weez, you've got a couple of questions that you have to ask.
Yes.
That you started asking.
Right.
So
let's go.
You got to ask those questions. We getting towards the end, so let's get it.
Yes, so it's time to do that. Rep your state. Top 5 artists out of Chicago in your eyes.
You said top 5? Man, that's hard. Not speaking.
Yep, it's time to rep your state and give flowers to those in your own state. Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
I'm gonna talk like signed artists, but there's some great unsigned artists that I got mad respect for as well. But speaking of people that your audience will probably know, I would give. I can't really do this in no particular order, but I got a lot of respect for Bump J.
Oh, it doesn't
Got a
matter.
lot of respect for Kanye. A lot of respect for Common. A lot of respect for Twister. And I'm forgetting one that's real important. Lupe Fiasco. Got a lot of respect. I got a lot of respect for that guy too.
Man,
Bang, there it is.
And that's just top 5 because of the
Lupe.
generation that I come from. I take nothing away from. I think Dirk is definitely a monster in the game right now. There's so many other people that I could name, man. I like people with hard work ethics. I give it up to the homie Vic Spencer. Go check him out. That dude's an animal.
On your track, wasn't he? He was on your track.
Yeah, he was on that track.
That was
Johnny
good.
Guns.
That was a good 4-piece right there. So them artists, I mean, I know you was doing the popular ones. These ones you just had a 4-track that some of these guys.
Yeah, some of these guys got some of these guys got a work ethic like you couldn't believe, man. And I really respect when people treat the craft like that and stay current and stay relevant.
Absolutely, yeah. Them guys on that track was dope.
So to allude to my next question on this one, Isaiah.
Say that one more time.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Weez.
Yes, that's true. To go on to the next question, it follows the first question. Isaiah, give me your top 5 albums of all time. The ones that you just can go to depending on your moods, where you're at, that you can just play track for track in rotation at any day. Your top 5 albums of all time.
Man, I'ma just. So when it comes to Pac, like he had so many artists that, depending on how I was feeling at any particular day, I'm running to that track. So I say definitely All Eyes on Me. That'll have to be one of them. But I would have to say his whole collection as a whole. So I'll sum that up into one album. And then I say Jay-Z's Blueprint, Eminem's Marshall Mathers LP. That was real important to me. Out of newer artists, I'm trying to put a finger on which album, but I would say Kevin Gates released an album called Isla. I got much respect for that album. Guess them would be my tops, but you gave me so little time to prepare for that question that it was definitely other. It was definitely
that's the point.
Preparation.
It was other answers, but them the first ones that popped out to me.
Hey, because you might drop it on the podcast. You'd be like, "Hold on, man, do I get a do-over?" And so when you come back, you're like, "Hey, man, this might edit
like,
it."
damn, I really forgot about this album.
It's a hard question. Top 5, top 10 might be a little easy. Top 5, we're gonna ask this. Weez that came up with this, and it'll put me on the spot right now if you ask me my top 5, and I'm like, Hey,
man, I miss Kendrick Lamar first album.
Questions coming for you too, brother.
No, I ain't answered that.
That was a great project.
It's about these two. I'll do that later.
What was the name? Section 80 by Kendrick
Section 80.
Lamar.
Section 80.
That was a great album.
Man, that poor man's dream, or poor man's what was it? Poor man's struggle, or pour man's.
I like rigor mortis on that joint. What was that? The Ronald Reagan era, Ronald Reagan story. I forgot the exact title of the song, but that when I heard that came in, I was like, hold on, everybody get your bars together. it's a monster just came in the game. That was definitely one of them inspiring moments that forced me to get my bars up as well.
That's dope. Man.
Sure. Well, yo, I want to say big salute and thank you so much for again coming on our platform and spending time to be able to just chop it up and learn a little bit about everything. And definitely welcome to our community. We have a Discord server that you can join. Absolutely share content, anything that you have on there, and we can play it live on the show, even if because we're working on a submission segment. So
Yeah.
and that goes for any MCs, DJs, b-boys, graffiti artists, anything, right? Get on down, get over to our Discord server, join that, and post your content, and we will feature it live on the show. So definitely, that's going to be information about how you are able to be a part of the actual MC battle. Discord server, everything. So make sure that you click that link. It's in our chat. I want to give a big shout out to Party Starters. Happy. Make sure you follow her. Super dope moderator on Twitch, and has a great group of folks that has a group of DJs that hip hop DJs all stream. They have a great raid that they set up, on special occasions. So make sure you follow her. Great community of folks. Thank you, everyone that's tuned in right now live on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Facebook. We do this every Wednesday night, and that happens at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain, and 6 p.m. Pacific. B-Boys Underground forever. So, want to get into the one and only. I've been looking forward to this interview too. This has been a great episode. I'm looking forward to it. But
Double up.
man, Tobe, Tobot, the one and only DMC champion Tobot from Animal Crackers, man. As a Cincinnati DJ, we didn't never really cross paths because you were in turntablism, and by the time that we would have crossed paths,
crossing streams is dangerous too.
Yeah, and so basically it was, but I always enjoyed you from afar and what you post. So big salute to you, man. I've been looking forward to this. You are a Cincinnati legend, and you and your crew epic. And I got to tell you, man, your Instagram picture, you gotta know one thing. I've met Bootsy Collins several times and had an opportunity to interact with him. And I know you may not be able to say things or whatever like that, but I know that's Bootsy in the damn picture. And Bootsy is one of my all-time idols. So I don't know. Is that something that you can or cannot talk about that picture? At least you were in the room with the man, and he's a Cincinnati legend as well. So.
Yeah. We were shooting. I think if you're talking about the recent picture, that was I did the theme song for the Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame, and it had Bootsy on it, Reggie Calloway from Midnight Star.
Yes, Reggie too.
Zap, Lester and Terry from the Troutmans, and a couple other people.
Deal maybe.
DJ on the one. Jay Skills and somebody else too that I'm forgetting, and then of course Bootsy didn't let me do shit without putting a little 8-bar wiki on some shit.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, I clowned him. I basically said I had to wait for the young schooler to get out of my way so I could shoot my cameo.
Understood, man.
Well, you broke it down. I mean, go ahead, Toby. Just tell us like the history of I can remember when I met you, and I was like, who is this dude up there? And I'm already already dealing with Dibs, and then I was like, Dibs found talent, and so did I. But I was like, who is these cats? Who was like, who is that?
Well, I came up playing. So I'm from Connecticut, and I was raised here. We moved here when I was younger, but every summer I'd go back to Connecticut. And at night, I could get all the radio stations from Long Island, and I just recorded shoebox after shoebox of cassettes. and I liked some of the sounds I was hearing and tried to figure out how to do it. And my dad had a pretty badass record collection, so I just started fucking with stuff, and that's how the Animal Crackers kind of started. But at that same time, I was also playing drums a whole bunch, so I had a real band sensibility about how to make music, and then started playing with records. So, somewhere about 93 or so, started meeting up with other cats, and built the Crackers, and did that for a good midget, back and forth, and played rock drums kind of simultaneously. So I had a whole decade where hip hop people didn't know I played drums, and rock people didn't know that I scratched records. So I played in literally all the clubs that everybody wouldn't go to that was in one genre of music. I was in both.
Word. And Cincinnati was very segregated at that time as far as the two different scenes. There wasn't really a big blending and merging, so it was unique to be able to be in the two scenes.
Which was how we got into doing Top Cats.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's how we won all those best hip hop awards and shit in Cincinnati. And we won like 4 of them until I literally told them, I was like, man, stop nominating us, because I was already mixing all the other shit in the city. Oh, and they did me one. Yeah, they said, okay, cool. Yeah, they never nominated us again. But yeah, that was like, like the early 2000s and whatnot. And I guess 99 or 2000 is when I started working with tech. I was one of those kids that, since we're all Cincy folks, I was, beatbox.
Oh God, yeah.
Beatbox Studios is where I did my production out of there with Cheese Coney and them, all of those guys.
Rest in peace,
Sleazy Cheese.
Yeah,
rest
man.
in peace. So let me ask you this: so Animal Crackers started when? And,
well, originally it was called Easy Props Productions, and then started the Animal Crackers proper. 96, 90, something like that, 96.
Okay. That sound,
something about like that. And then a couple years with High Tech, while Crackers were doing real good on Wednesday nights, bringing tons of artists in, and then aligning with Fresh and Dibs with Scribble Jam right around all that same time, like 97, I think 98 was like the first one we contributed anything to.
And boy, did you.
He said some people still got scars from that shit.
They do.
And then 2002 is also when I met Bootsy, and I was still working with tech, and we had Animal Crackers had won that last award that I mentioned, CEA or whatever that one was, and I literally said, stop nominating us. Somebody stole our award that night, and Wilbert Longmire, who was the guitarist for Bob James, did all Bob James records.
Absolutely.
Wilbert, I don't think he's passed yet. I hope not, but I know he's had some health issues, but he lives in like off Reading Road and shit. And I used to do stuff with him. So long story short, he introduced me to Bootsy at one of these CEA awards. And literally later that week, Bootsy showed up at Tech Studio for some session or something. And me and Bootsy hit it off, and he's like, yo, man, yo, Baba, I just bought one of them Pro Tools rigs. You think you come out teaching me how to use it? And I was like, yeah, I could probably come out and teach you how to push some buttons or whatnot. And that first day I went out and set him up, and he was like, came over, he's like, man, I'm never going to learn this. You just want to stay. And it's been 21 years now since that. So that's basically, I mean, for the most part, that's what I've been doing the past 2 decades, to be honest with you.
Just pretty much running that engineer with Freak Bass and everything he wanted to do.
Yeah, and after I met and started working with Bootsy, you know, Chris Freakbass and I grew up playing music in the same scene.
Really?
Yeah, because he's from Cincinnati, so we saw the same, you know, and he was playing punk, funk, and kind of some rock stuff back in those days. And then he got signed to Bootsy, and Bootsy, you know, did a couple records with him. And then Freak and I started working together, and I did two records with him, and then he and I did one solo record too, which was actually really cool. That one was called Freakbot, so Freak Bass and Tobot, and we actually did a bunch of festival shows off that shit because we would tour together after doing the record for him. He was like, "How do I do this shit live?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll give you backing tracks. Your drummer just pull the shit up. He played the click track, yada yada. That's how everybody does it." And he's like, I'd rather have you come out and play with us. I was like, all right. So I did that for a couple of years, and then the band would take a break, and at some points it was just me and him, turntables and bass guitar. We started doing that more and more, and people really liked it. And then we started scaling down the band and going to do festivals where we had really what they call shallow footprint for festivals. So you get in and get out in the greatest of opportunities. And it's no sweat for anybody. So we got known for doing shit like that. So we got a bunch of good summers out of all those, you know, cool ass jam band festivals and shit.
So, Tobot, I've got the Live at Bass Jam queued up. Can we give that a go?
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, so let's take a look and see.
Oh,
Wicked.
Man, yo.
That's I don't know who did that. That's totally unsanctioned. It's rad.
I got you. Well, I dope on those scratches were dope, especially with you had Led Zeppelin scratch in there. So
Oh, thank you. I was listening back to it. I was like, yeah, it's not really how the record went,
Yeah, that was wicked. I like that a lot.
but it's close to it.
it's like I mean, yeah, ain't no words for that. I mean, it's just like a talent beyond. Let me ask you this question. When you starting getting the scratching and transforming, who is your like, and then forming, helping to form the Animal Crackers? What was the scratch syncopation and like I know Dibs brought y'all guys. Told me like, man, Animal Crackers, like Animal
Yeah,
Crackers.
the Crackers owe Dibs a whole bunch of praise. He had got, he was getting booked and getting good magazine coverage early on, and he had a couple gigs that he was like made it mandatory. He was like, "Yeah, I'll come, but you have to have these dudes open up for me."
Bet.
And a couple
Yeah.
of those shows were pretty rad shows, and we just so happened to actually murder it those nights too. You know what I mean? So it was like kind of the stars aligned for us in that regard. So we had a
Yeah.
great opportunity, and we basically bat 1,000, close to it.
I think I met Noah before I met you because Noah was kind of kicking around, and then
Yeah.
come
So
this whole crew
yeah,
that you would put.
Noah and I were the originators basically, and then we just
Right.
started attracting folks after that.
And who was
I graduated with Noah's older brother from high school, and then we went to college together, and we're like snowboard chumps together and shit. And he's 3 or 4 years younger than me,
Yeah, it sounds about right.
which
So
at this point doesn't mean shit. But
now back then it was like
yeah. When you're 19 or whatever, it was a different
24 and
thing.
19, and then you 30 and 20. Like
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
what so the original Animal Crackers crew when y'all actually said we're gonna do something together while you had your thing going, what how did that just transpire where y'all got to practicing and get to a DMC level?
Yeah, I just I got fortunate, and the cats that the orbit that I had allowed some gravity with some dudes that were square pegs and round holes that didn't really fit into this, that, and the other. And we all, in that time, everybody was DJing, holding their dicks, and it's like hip hop harder than all y'all. And nobody wanted to share any. Nobody wanted to share any.
No insight. No,
oh my god!
It wasn't until I started
yes.
fucking with Bootsy and those guys that I realized that those dudes were living off of not one, but sometimes 2 generations of knowledge that was passed to them through mentorship and bestowed with some expectations on that, right? And us 70s babies don't have that shit. We grew up, it was like cocaine in the White House, Crazyville.
Yeah.
And hip hop unfortunately picked up a lot of that mentality when it shouldn't have. But anyway, I know actively we broke that shit. And not only that, everybody else DJ'd by themselves. Right? And I was always in bands. And I was into trying to manually remix music. Like figuring out, and I could only drum part this or do that. Now you could loop phrase everything. I could fucking be one-man band and just loop, and scratch all the parts. Probably be really easy to write things, compose those scratch things. But back in the day, when we were doing it in late 90s, it was all analog, all vinyl. So you had to source everything, cue everything, tape everything, mark everything, cue, swap. I mean, you guys know. And that whole nerd mentality made us really, really tight. And then when we started having those Wednesday nights. Man, I did Wednesday nights every Wednesday at Top Cats for 7 years. and we did everybody and their mother.
Rest in peace to
right.
to
I mean,
yeah.
we did the crazy shit, and there was times where literally bands would come through on Wednesday, and on Friday night they were on fucking Kimmel or whatever that show was. And it was like, oh, these people are breaking. Oh, guess we won't see them but next year. Right? Like, that was the last time they're coming to play a 400-person club.
Yeah, they didn't make it. Yeah,
no, coming back. Well, I shouldn't say that because.
And I hope they remember you.
I can't say that because KRS came.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Right, and he played there. So we were still able, but we were lucky because we caught a lot of acts on the Ascension. Right.
Yes.
And most people, when they're traveling through Middle America, don't expect to stop and see a hip hop night like we were doing.
Yeah, man.
Not in Cincinnati. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you look up, and it's like 4 white dudes wiggling records, and you're like, all right, where the fuck am I?
You're right. I'm in outer space.
And you just drove through cornfields to get there, and you're like, okay, there's some weird shit going on here. I'm in a different, some reason they, right? Like cast all the horror movies in Ohio and Stranger Things is from fucking Indiana. It's weird, it's a weird vibe, man. I don't know.
That's crazy to think about that. And then, so you guys had to practice and to develop that technique for
all that shit on Wednesday nights was all freestyle, and we would record that shit to mini disc, and we'd get back, and I'd be like, "That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Did you
That's
just
a good
say
idea."
Mini disc?
Bruh.
Shout out to the Sony mini disc. That thing was amazing.
Right.
I've got the 2 little portable ones, and I've got 2 actual rack units.
I was over Dibs a few months ago, and we were digging through archaic shit, and I seen the fucking shoebox with the mini disc, and I just started fucking losing it.
Yes.
Those are awesome,
so we got it because we're doing shows, and you jumping around on the stage with artists, and the mini disc would jump. The CDs would.
Yep.
The mini disc stayed in the pocket.
He had a bunch of show ones. He had a bunch of show ones, but we had all these live recordings from Top Cats, which included all the MC battles, all the fucking ad hoc shows, all the live shit from all those performances, all the fights, all the.
Well, he recorded fights. That used to irritate my soul.
Well,
I'm like that.
I love him to death.
Ahead.
That was the only time I took him to side. I was like, yo, man, we cannot punish patrons. I understand if there's some cats that come up there, and there's a bunch of, especially back then.
Yeah,
we're really close to the Mason-Dixon line. A lot of cats would come in from the west side and think they could just say some shit. And I didn't have a real problem with some of that, but when they were putting people out and they were going next door and telling the fire department, heads up, we're some people about to get slept outside.
Right, and we want you to arrest them. I said, man, protect the event. I was like, and then I got to come out there and stop it. And I'm like, hold on. I said, protect the event.
Go figure. Go figure. 15 years later, they hit us up to do the reboot for Top Cats, right? Me and us and Brad go do it. And what happens? We get a fucking bomb threat and some random box thrown at the front door, and the whole show gets canceled.
I didn't make it there. I came there the next day, and I actually have pictures there, and I was like telling him,
it was hysterical.
We would actually do shows, and then he was trying to film this weird ass footage. I was like, dude, protect the event. Like, what are you doing? He wanted to just get out there and do crazy.
It was all this, I love them to death, but it's all the straight edge kids, and they're just aggro. They're aggro as fuck, and it was an excuse for them to go wild, and we just had to, like all good things, man. It it can wind some stuff up, and it's better to have more fun with more people than
absolutely.
Watch people getting fucking developmental damage.
Yeah, for real.
So
hey, big shout out to Mr. Dibs for sure.
Mr.
Dibs. I
hallelujah to the fat Brad. That boy gets my fucking love up and down all days, always.
Hold on, let's go back. White Shadow.
Woo! What's funny because Dibs is nowhere near fat anymore at all.
I know, and it just lost that.
Oh, and he's doing
connotation.
great. I mean, he's doing great. I'm super proud of him, man.
I know he had some health issues earlier.
Yeah.
That
But
he had.
he addressed that
came
shit.
over.
He addressed that shit. Well, he had to.
Yeah.
You know, and his wife's a smarter human than most of us. So.
Yeah. So, Mr. Dibs, I sent you an Instagram message. You gotta unspam me.
Caught another day. Come on now.
We trying to connect up and get you on the show. So he is. I mean, you have to say. I mean, we are using B-Boys Underground. We're saying forever, but he was. I mean, a instrumental part of.
It starts with that. The whole Third Finger Record Pool and everything was
there you go.
Exactly.
Scribble Jam was us. So he's got my keyboard too, which I really don't need no more.
He said I got an N-Sonic ASR10 that he won't give back.
Damn, I love that. Boy.
Well, I'll tell you what's really cool is all that circuit bending shit, man.
Yes, I said.
Which I remember where he got onto that. We did some weird Black Booger event, late '90s. All this, all these like tweakers, all these circuit benders.
Yeah, just start making weird noises.
It was weird as hell. It was Crackers got the gig. We went and played, and I was like, "What the is going on here?" And it was all these. It was like just like random like theremin instruments and all this exotic electronic, broken speaking spells and shit. And I could see in his eyes, he was like,
"Yeah." So when he came to get my keyboard and he seen like my niece's toys, he was looking at it and I said,
"Yeah, man,
you're not going to tear them up to make the baby doll say,
yeah."
He was looking at the toys of my nieces. I said, "All right, I stop. I see your videos."
Well, you guys can't see, but I got a whole
shelf of it.
No, I got a whole tech bench of weird, like all my. I mean, to have all the gear and studio shit, you got to know how to tinker a little bit.
Yeah, fix your own stuff.
Yeah, man.
So.
So I wanted to ask you,
what you got?
Because you mentioned, when you as a DJ, and not just as a DJ, but as a turntablist. I mean, I always view, folks. And especially nowadays,
you notice my prefix does not say DJ.
I understand,
and I've never called myself a DJ. Like
you are an artist, and that's the thing. So that's what I wanted to say, because that stuff has been thrown around very, very loosely, especially nowadays and everything like that. And what I did is anything close to what you did you know what I mean? So as a artist, as a turntablist, as someone who creates music through turntables, and you make your own compositions and coming up with routines, could you walk the folks through what it takes, in your thought process as you come up with a routine, and what it takes to go through, and how long does it take before you actually it takes for you to practice and before you unveil it and share it?
Man,
walk me through that.
That shit sucks. So the amount of time it takes probably doesn't even make any sense. If I actually admitted to it, you would realize there's much better things I could do with my life to efficiently bring dollars in. But I would also say this, I mean, if you're willing to do that, you could go and hit battles, and if you're good enough, you could win. You get $5-6 grand for an 8-minute routine.
Yeah,
that's probably the biggest payday I've ever seen.
Gotcha.
Now, if you reverse engineer all that and say, how long did it take me to create the set, and then how much routine and rehearsal did it take to perfect it?
Yeah.
I'm probably still making $50 an hour.
Or
still ain't bad.
I mean, somewhere close to it. But yeah, those routines, you know, they would take a long, you know, like anything. Sometimes the art comes easier than harder, but it's always infinitely more difficult to do a team thing than to just me come up with a fucking cool battle set. Everybody does. I mean, that's like what everybody does, and you can sit home for hours and hours and do that. But to get 5 or 4 people together and do that is infinitely harder. Just for scheduling
or composition
and ideas, and all that shit. It all has to happen at the same time, which is really challenging.
And then practice it. So
well, especially when it was pre-DVS.
And I would say this, you know, because I remember I went to the Greenwich Lounge, and you know I've seen you, known you, and all of a sudden I was like, Toby's on the drums. I was like, what the fuck? and ran through a set. I think it was brother Bruce Lee, and you was doing his set. Syncopation was, you know, even like you didn't probably done more than you can remember.
And see, that's what I was saying, Fresh, is that I have a whole decade at least of good friends that literally have no idea that I was playing on the other side of the tracks too.
Never knew that. I mean,
I remember back in the day when I was doing like all the early mood shit. Like I did a bunch of records for Dante and shit, and you know they used to pitch. They used to pitch.
You need to get them too.
Oh yeah, you got to get Tay out here for sure. They used to pitch me, Jay, and Brad against each other because we were the white DJs.
Yeah, we know. Hey, Ghost Boogie,
that's why we didn't know each other, because they didn't brought you into that thing. So the three of us were always.
We got a white DJ. You got a white DJ.
We were always supposed to battle, right? And then we all finally met each other. It's like, actually, man, I kind of like you and shit. So you know.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah. Cool. And we respect each other's, you know, crafts and shit. Jay's a great producer, especially nowadays.
I thought so. Yeah.
Jay's doing some cool ass shit, man.
Man, that's dope. That's dope.
But so you know, creating those scratch routines was, it's kind of lightning in the bottle, man. To be honest with you, you know, some of those things that we did, especially considering pre-DVS, where, you know, those battles, that fucking DMC battle, that was almost 20 records, just stacked, right? All tapes. That was my stack.
And when you said tape, meaning like with the parts on there to
markers for rotation, like, or you know, if you cut the stickers exactly right off the cassettes, right, you can make you can force a skip in it. You do all kind of cool shit.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. Dibs taught me that.
You know, before the cue point and the sync button.
Yeah, my record's like, what you doing with my record? They're like, I knew what he was doing later. I was like, okay, that's what you're doing. So you got these guys to work. So you got your routine. And then another part was that, you know, the engineering part. So you had to sit there and mix a lot of the stuff in the city. And you became a premier Pro Tools engineer.
Yeah, I was pretty lucky. Pro Tools came out in 91. Late 91, and I bought my first system when I graduated high school in 93.
Wow.
So I've been on Pro Tools almost every day for the past 30 years.
Damn. Wow.
You're an expert.
So when people say, oh, Toby, he's fucking good at you, I better be.
You're right. You didn't put your life work into. That's one part of it. One aspect. Yeah.
I mean, if I'm not good at it now, I did the wrong thing.
So, you know, getting back to touching on, you know, especially the difficulty of being able to, as a crew and as a group, be able to come up with a routine, let alone, and you're a very humble person. I get it. And I love it. And that's an awesome thing and a beautiful thing. But you are a DMC champion. You're a US DMC champion, which many artists, DJs dream about getting and even competing. Some folks just think that to have the courage to start and enter into it to begin with, right? That's a whole process in itself to make sure that you're ready to get and compete in something of that magnitude, right? And be able to get to the point where you earned a championship. I've got your 2006 championship routine up. It's 6 minutes and 14 seconds.
Oh fuck! This is probably the one I don't want to watch.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You got one that
Should we-
you want to show?
Yeah, we have no problem.
Because we was asking for links, but I mean, you know, like
Yeah, there's a reason that there's no animal cracker shit for me to give you.
Make some noise.
Okay.
okay.
And
well.
that's because I'm sitting on a fucking cache of all the songs and collaborations and shit that we did through all those years with all those people. And we were from that early analog stage where I never liked the way the internet was treating the releases and the material we had. And I felt like it would be worth more if we just waited.
I feel that. I mean,
Okay.
cash in. All right, well, we'll wait.
So when I get the rest of the crew on and we talk true animal cracker shit, I will crack eggs about that.
Understood.
We can do that. So we'll hold off.
But I
So-
will offer you at least an honest excuse why I don't want to watch that 2006
Why is that?
performance in London. Because it's one of the only times I've ever fucked up.
Oh,
You say you've been
Are you-
perfect, and like there was like one time.
I wouldn't say that, but I've always been an anchor,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
I and the crew is not used to me not being informed.
could you walk us through? Like, are you willing to share the story as far as walking
Absolutely.
through what happened?
Absolutely. And every turntablist will know exactly what I'm talking about. So there's someone else's decks. You show up with your slip mats and your records. And what would you do? Probably put a little butter rug underneath. You guys remember the custom ones, the wax ones we used to put
Yes,
underneath?
sir.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
The
That's the
static,
wax paper.
the second record of the routine that I flip, Static grabs the wax
The
mat,
slip max.
the
Oh,
wax part of it, and the hole for the alignment is no longer there. And I essentially pitch a tent over the wax,
wow.
and the whole record was just like this. And I didn't realize it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It's like my needle's skipping all over the place. I'm like, yo, dude,
Ooh.
fucking what? And I realized what it is. But after 30 seconds, the rest of the crew was already bucked. And those routines are 6 minutes, start to finish, no variances, no room for miscues.
Improv.
Yeah, go back
Yeah.
4 bars, redo the last 8. No. Like
Yeah, it's already
you
set.
lost. It's like a rocket ship.
Yeah,
Like you blast
Yeah.
off. If you ain't got it right, you fucked.
right.
And we didn't
Wow.
have it right. But what I would say is there is one that it was the last rehearsal before we went to compete. And that is the same set, and it's exactly how it's supposed to be. It's just not us on the stage 2 weeks later when it was literally, that's probably my
I
worst
found it. Is it-
experience. It's probably my worst experience on stage.
So I think if it's the one that's labeled the Animal Crackers 06 World DMC practice.
That sounds appropriate.
All right, let's see.
Everybody else can watch the other one and watch me squirm in ways that you'll probably never see again in your life.
No,
You
well,
learned
here's
from,
the
you learned from that though, didn't you?
There is no success. There's no. I've learned this
That
after
little
teaching
thing
for the past 6 or 7 years. There is no success without the failure. It's literally impossible.
So we're
absolutely.
going to talk about that, but because I want to ask him about that because that's another important element of what he's doing now. Go ahead and let's hear it. We got it.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Give me 1 second.
And in the background is Glue from ADM from Glue too.
Glue. Oh, I remember Glue. ADM.
I did a bunch of good records for them.
Can you guys hear?
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe my eyes. Yeah, how many
times you gonna do that same shit? Wait a minute. Fuck all y'all. Cut this shit.
Watch America willing to maintain order, no matter what the cost.
Look, I don't want to hear about how many battles you won, cause your rap ain't jack, like action. Place where ain't no crackers at, place where all the crackers at.
Try to battle us, just clear until we can walk it. The illest shit ever dropped by American jurors.
That's that crack music, nigga. That real crack music.
And it goes a little something. And it goes a little something like this.
You like to fuck baby heads? You like to fuck boys? It's like nothing we've dealt with before. It's like nothing we've dealt with before.
You know what they say about these dudes?
Tail with the drummer.
They all got rhythm.
Fuck you. you, hope we wouldn't make it. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Ain't nothing subtle about an old fashioned fuck you.
Salute.
That just routine, just everybody going walking around, just like the thing hand. Whoa, just.
So that's the other tier of it. Not only making a cool scratch routine, but for people who don't know what you're doing and the difference between this and this and this and that, you have to exaggerate it and make it a little more theatrical. So what we had to do was teach the parts to each other and say, okay, you wiggle the record here, you do this thing here for me, and I'll do this thing here for you. And that's what makes it look like the octopus fucking hands part.
Mm. So that's a whole other thing about it that, you know, for the casual folks that's out there that may not know that, is that when you're performing and putting together a routine, it's over exaggerating your moves and what you're doing to get it out visually also as well. That's part of the routine itself.
I think so, yes.
And I would say, like, it really, this is back before YouTube was popping and all that. Now that looks like, ooh, this is how this really works. So you guys was doing this when you do a show in front of people.
Yeah, that's a VHS fucking camera set up on a tripod in front of rehearsal.
I bet it at best.
Oh, at the break when I'm snapping, you can hear the snaps. So the microphone's just in the room. That's why it's like sounds hella crazy too. But
you almost know, like, you hope that camera's staying up. If it fell down, then like all of a sudden the camera be watching y'all feet. It's that syncopated. Y'all walking around each other. You can't bump into each other. And you gotta hit that. You're right. It was like that's rehearsal and that's preparation.
Can't bump the tables either.
No, it's one thing to do it, and then it's another thing to physically interact in that way. It's
yeah.
So go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go. No, go. You first.
Okay, so check this out, man. I would love to know what would you say I have to know always this. What was your first mixer that you had? That you had. What was your first mixer?
I had the realistic 5 fader, no cross fader.
Yes.
Now this is where things get super interesting. Is that a good homie of mine is a very successful musician in his own right, but a really good engineer, and technically he makes mastering hardware, like physically makes boutique external compressors and shit for mastering and shit like that. Anyway, back in the day, he was like the rogue electronics kid, right? And I wanted a thing that I didn't know existed. So what we did is we took a light switch, we gutted a Sansui stereo and you got it, Ghost. And we put a phono preamp inside of it, and I hooked the belt-driven turntable up to the light switch and stacked a bunch of equipment on top of it, so it was weighted down, and I made my own transformer switch.
Whoa.
The problem is I left that shit at the crib, and Mom's years ago was like, I'm throwing a bunch of stuff out, and I was like, all right, whatever. And I forgot that shit was down there.
Moms will kill you on that. They were like, "Hey, you better come get it."
I had Vista Light Ludwig drums, the one that Bonham played. I had those in the basement store.
Yes.
She gave them to the local kids. They fucked drill holes in them. Were walking around the neighborhood beating the shit out of them on the north side. I was like, "Fuck."
Hey, Mom, and like, hey, look, because I would say this: the hip hop community, when we doing this, and we got this. We grew up with comic books and records and equipment. And all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, you're over there, get it." And they'd be like, "Hey, Goodwill's coming around."
Yeah, the second month she told you a year later, I told you I was gonna get rid of this shit. Yeah, she did.
Sure did. And you just sit there like that, like, I should have listened the first time.
I got a bunch of those. Man. Fuck.
So, second question would be, what was your first turntable?
So my first turntable, like I said, was belt driven, and when I broke the belt, I got a rubber band And when I broke the rubber band, I stapled the rubber band together. And then somebody said, you know, they make direct drive. And I was like, what does that mean? So what? I don't even know what that first one was, man.
Was it from Radio Shack?
No, it was like, it might have been Sanyo or a Panasonic or something weird.
Panasonic, okay.
Yeah, I don't remember what that first was. I can see it in my mind, but I don't remember what the label of it was. But I remember when the belt broke, I was like, well, shit. And I just got a rubber band. I was like, damn, that works. That's great. And the rubber band got loose and it broke. And I was like, fuck. So I stapled that together and it still worked for a little bit.
I got you. So, and then the transition, what would you say out of all of the turntables and mixers that you have used and went through, what would you hold that up as the gold standard all-time best, especially for turntablism? What would you say the best mixer, best turntable?
I don't think the best mixer has been invented yet.
Fair. Tell me why.
Because now they're realizing that they are audio interfaces too. And some companies are putting the effects inside of the units and some are making them software based.
Yes.
And then I don't want to tell you exactly. I want to get paid off of this idea.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. That's absolutely.
But there's a lane. There's something that nobody's done yet. And only an audio engineer would even think about it in this regard.
And you will be somebody to keep that under wraps and then introduce it on our show when you get with the right people, the engineers and everybody.
I entertained a couple endorsements every now and then. And I will say this. Historically, the game got started for us when we picked up some Vestex, either the 05
yes.
Pro.
I remember them.
And then the mix stick, of course, right? The skinny one.
Mm-hmm.
Made a lot of moves on those, and we bought, we had at one point half a dozen of those 05 Pros.
Let me say
that was.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go. No, go. No,
well,
go,
I was just gonna say that was a mixer that I looked up to. I couldn't wait to get. I had to, get gigs together and get
which
money
one
together.
The
05, the 05, yeah. Because I remember when I remember when Dibs switched over. He had a Newmark Scratch, and he was always, especially before the shows, like just pouring WD-40 and all types of stuff because it had those little transformer switches on the each side of the actual faders, and he was just always monkeying with that before the shows and stuff like that. And
we would take them apart.
The first time I saw the 05 was when he got it, and I felt that fader
slide.
I was like, my God, what is this?
That's butter. What is that?
Some people wanted resistance, some people wanted butter, and that was you would take it back, reverse engineering, and like it slide better, so you can do the quick.
Yeah. So we started taking the faders and the input switches apart, and started with cleaning them. Then started playing with bending the metal tabs back around the casings. That's how we created what we called the digital pigeon, which was
pigeon.
Yeah, it's
man. Hey, that's gonna be my word for the week. Hey, you digital pigeon. I like the way that's you a digital pigeon.
So do you remember how if you couldn't transform Scratch with the crossfader, right? You could just grab the input switch.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But the trade-off for that was the big pops that you might have.
Yeah.
So if you took those switches apart, so if there were two inputs, you could fold the metal back and make an extra position on the switch and what you'd end up with is off position, on position, and an off position again. So you could stroke between it through the three positions, and it would sound like.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a huge secret.
Hey, when Dibs came over there, he came to my house and he was like, "Listen to this." He said, "Well, no, I went to his house." I said, "What the hell is that?" He's like, "Man, I took it apart." And we wasn't scared because, you know, I'm IT. We weren't scared of taking something apart to try to recreate it and just
Or especially if it's already broken.
Yeah, like, because you ain't got nothing to lose.
Oh, because we killed mixers, bro. Oh, I mean, Noah drove from my mom's house in Northside up to the top of Clifton Avenue with an 05 on top of the car until we turned left on McMillan and the shit fell off the roof. What the fuck was that? And looked in the back rearview mirror as 05 just scraping across the fucking McMillan street. Yeah, we murdered shit constantly. So yeah, that was, I mean, invention, you know, necessity is often the mother of invention, right? So when the shit breaks and you're like, okay, what? I ain't gonna break it anymore.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
And this is what I wanted to ask. Ghost, let me get this.
Well,
one.
just let me pitch. Give me one second.
Go ahead.
Let me pitch to Big Weeze. Big Weeze. He's got to go. Shout outs, Big Weeze.
Oh, thanks,
homie. Shout out to y'all family, y'all kids. Hopefully you guys have a happy holidays.
Yes, sir.
Tobe as well to you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Have a blessed day tomorrow.
Well, yo.
Thank you, homie. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Big Weeze, we appreciate you. Much love. We'll see you next week.
All right, we got you down. All right, brother. Love you. Hit us up if you need anything. Enjoy. Oh, give me some beats too, bro. I need some holiday beats. Big Weeze, send me some holiday beats, bro. Come on now. I heard that one. I know you got some more.
Hell yeah.
He ain't talking vegetables.
Not those. Yeah, I don't like beats like that.
He ain't talking vegetables.
I got more. I got one for you, Fresh. It's a Hall & Oates sample, so I'll get that over to you.
Ooh.
Hey, look, Daryl Hall put a restraining order on John Oates today.
Wow.
Oh,
big music news. He sued him. Oates sued Hall in a sealed lawsuit like last week, and then today, boom, there's a restraining order that just popped off. So whatever they got going on, I mean, if there's a restraining order,
that's going at somebody, right?
Yeah.
I hate lawsuits. I hate lawsuits for anything in hip hop that messes up our hip hop, and not only that, but the stuff we sample. We hate when R&B groups and pop groups. We hate that. I'm like, man, just get back together. This is our childhood. But we understand how this works, and we don't know the intricate workings of it. But yeah, I like when they get back together, and sometimes it could be a promotional ploy. Oh, we act like we feud. EPMD. We watched that. We watched the breakup of a lot of groups. Yeah, like, I mean, you know, we watched Scribble Jam have its problems. Changed everything, you know. It's life.
Yeah.
All right,
peace out, Weeze.
Yeah,
have a wonderful night.
Have a good holiday, homie.
Thank you, sir.
All right, brother. Love you. And tell the family love you too. Hope y'all eat till you wobble, wobble, gobble, gobble.
Hell yeah. So, Toby, I've got another question. But Fresh had a question that before that I interrupted. So, Fresh, go ahead if you still.
I hear you're like teaching now.
Yeah. So.
Yes, I think that's interesting.
When I stopped touring with Bootsy shortly after my first kid was born, well, I guess I should rewind a little bit. After I graduated, my old audio professor would invite me back to do master classes at CCM, the Conservatory of Music at UC.
Yes.
where I got my undergraduate degree from, and I dug that, and it'd be fun. And I came off tour and was back home starting to go into dad mode. And he was going on sabbatical and said, "Hey, would you teach a class or two for me while I'm gone?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, sure. That's cool." And one of the classes was Logic. And I've worked in Pro Tools forever and hadn't worked in Logic at that point. So
Feel you.
I was like, "Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's a challenge, learn another DAW." And that was out of a different division in CCM that I graduated from. And then the division that I was in, that I had graduated from, heard that I was back teaching and offered me another position. Long story short, 6-7 years later, I teach out of 3 departments at CCM. And during the pandemic, I went back and got my master's degree in music production from Berkeley.
Congratulations and salute to you for
Wow.
that.
Yes, because I heard about that. And just anybody, because I've changed jobs. I'm an IT. I've worked with GE, Northrop Grumman. And the acronyms mean something to somebody. So you said DAW, digital
Audio workstation.
workspace.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
yeah.
we'll throw these terms around because we're in there, but for the layman, it's digital audio workspace.
Yeah. Me learned another program with buttons and knobs.
Yeah. And like one you're used to, and then you got to learn something else. They're similar, but you kind of gravitate to the first one you learn. Yeah. So, because you're a Pro Tools, probably a master, because anybody any artist I was dealing with,
Yeah.
they were like, man, Tobe gonna mix it. Tobe gonna mix it. And I don't know if
I've been lucky, man. I never wanted to be an engineer or a producer.
I didn't either. I wanted to be a producer, but not an engineer.
It wasn't until people started offering me more money to do for them what I had done for myself. And that was a hard bridge to cross. I mean, there's some amount of, Ghost, you said earlier, mentioned my humility, man. That's just a joke. I conduct myself in a way because I know no one wants to hear what I actually think about myself. I'm the baddest mother in the room, always, all days. I just don't need to tell anybody about it. I'll wait for the opportunity, or for something to fall out of my pocket. I got time. I'm not gonna come in here and blow my own fucking, you know what I mean, my own horn about anything.
Right. I gotta do let everybody else tell you,
Well, just let it be spoke by the work. That's what I feel. You can say whatever you want to say, but
who did the mix?
Who's mixing records?
Who did it? Oh, he doing it for this. He's not even doing it for hip hop. You're doing it for R&B and rock bands.
I've done jazz shit. I've done Delta continuing education shit. I've made music for toys. I've made video. I've done video, a bunch of PlayStation games, especially in the early 2000s and shit. Major League Baseball, Gran Turismo.
So that's I know
NBA Live or NBA Jams. Is that what it was called? All types of shit.
So you did that with Bootsy, didn't you? Because I know Bootsy was really big into doing that. His cousin that does comes out and helps him with all of his electronic stuff. Older gentleman too. That's where my connection is Joe, if you know Joe. But he it told me, and I never knew the sheer amount of work that he was doing behind the scenes with, just because he wasn't releasing under Bootsy and stuff like that. It was the video games, all of the scores.
He's in Animaniacs. He's on fucking. He's in movies. He's on.
Yeah.
He's hosting fucking, paraplegic games and shit. He does all kind of crazy shit.
Yeah. So you got in with it. So how did you make that connection or get into actually linking up and being able to do work for the video games? Was it through him or was it through someone else that you?
Yeah. It was through him. He got the opportunities, and then, he's phenomenally great at bringing out the best in artists that they didn't even know they had. And he figured my switch early on. and what I'm good at, and he does really well at creating a space for me to do that.
He's a beautiful human.
Yeah, he is, absolutely.
And I'll say this real quick.
Yeah.
I don't want to cut you off, but I remember, I think I heard of him, and then like remember Black Sheep. They used to do a lot of.
Kevin. Yeah, I love Kevin. Kevin's good humor.
Kevin
I
Williams.
stay in touch with Kevin. He's got he's got a serious vault of video. You guys might want to holler at him.
Yeah, he was down with the camp with was the Basement Flavor, and he was telling me like he connected me with Boosie. I actually used to talk to George B.
Oh, rest in peace.
Yes, and then when I talked to him, he was like, "Cause me and George B would be on the phone because I met Boosie, and you know, like everybody like know Boosie because he's Cincinnati." And then like I was talking to George B. He's like, "Now I'm gonna introduce you to Boosie," and I've met Boosie a few times. Just great experience. And then, you know, like when I was like, man, you know, like I got to doing my own thing. My kids started doing this. And then I didn't hear from George B for a while. And he was like, yeah, he gone. So I was kind of disappointed about that. But, you know, yeah, I mean, but, you know, Boosie is a treasure of helping people to get where they are and showing you different avenues of the game.
The lens about who Bootsy Collins is as a character here in Cincinnati is one thing.
Yes. Who
Germany,
he really is.
Japan, he's ballistic.
I believe
he's a god anyway. He should be a god.
The first time I ever took stage in front of, I think that first gig we did the Fuji Rocks Festival, and there was easily 20-something thousand people.
Easy.
And it's the end of the show, and he sends me out, push the microphone to my chest, and sends me out. He says, "Man, get him cranked up for the funk, bro." And has me go out and start the funk, you know, keep the funk alive chant for 20,000 people.
Wow.
And you know him coming from, you know, like what people don't know, if you do know Bootsy, you know, the Funk Brothers and all of that from playing with James Brown and then moving to George Clinton is an incredible story in itself.
Yeah, they were called the House Guests.
Yes, they were.
And George and James came into town. So that show at Fuji Rocks. Let me make sure I'm telling the right story.
Oh, go ahead. You got it.
Yeah, that was the year James Brown died, and this tour that I'm talking about was the James Brown tribute tour. So it was the entire band minus James Brown.
You know what? I watched him perform and rehearse at the Ark. I got a chance to see because you know his building, the Ark is. He had the stage and everything like that. They were getting ready to go overseas for, I forget which destination or leg it was, but they had the entire band up on stage and practicing. I got a chance to sit there and watch it, and it was for me just James Brown being someone that I've always inspired to, and Bootsy was always just it was mind blowing, and to be able to just sit there and experience that. That's a hell of a concert, and you being able to share the stage with that is epic.
Fuck it.
Take your time.
Fuck it. I don't care because my wife already knows. I told her already.
What's that? What'd you tell your wife? And shout out to any wives that let us do what we do, and our kids. Shout out to that. But go ahead.
I have, and I will always say, I may get my appetite in a number of places. I promise I am always coming home for dinner.
Yes, sir.
But James Brown's wife, I did go out to eat with her in Paris, but I didn't do it. But I stopped there.
Word.
That's a crazy. That's a crazy.
Okay. Yeah, let that one go.
Yeah.
That one sound like woo wee. Hey,
I didn't mention anybody specific famous asking me for the pictures of her crotch that she sent me.
Hey, look, this stuff happens. There's levels to this.
I
You might
didn't.
get this on a lower level. You get
I
it on
didn't.
a higher level.
I heard that had happened to somebody.
Oh wow, man.
And you know that might have been trying to mess up the game. And I'm like, you know,
That was a trip. That was the first time I was to Japan, and that's the coolest place I've ever went and worked. Yeah.
You send me that, you getting blocked.
Well, check this out.
No chances.
You mentioned Japan, and you always you mentioned Japan, and you always hear about, you know, when groups and artists get a chance to go over to Japan for the first time, and they're always taken aback by how big of a scene and embraced you are as an artist over there. What was that like for you? Was it just overload? I mean, describe your experience and what was special about that scene over there?
The humility of the culture, the respect of everybody is markedly different than the United States. That's for sure. I mean, it is in most places. As soon as you get out of the U.S., you start to realize that we're actually the fucking weirdos.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Out of your own city.
But I guess the professionalism and then the complete divorce between the accountability and responsibility of most of the members of the society come Friday night, the fucking rich suits are completely wasted and doing crazy shit in the streets because they're just cutting loose and nobody minds. Like, oh, you know, it's like wealthy looking business dude, fucking piss drunk, wasted, sleeping in, you know what I'm saying, in the subways or something. And nobody trips. Or like in the park.
And protected.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is a whole different sense of humility. And then the way, you know, the way the people work. That's the other thing. Like, my family especially is like, oh, you traveled so much. What's such and such like? You know, it's like, this ain't vacation.
No, this is like
no, we're in the slop. Like, this is work mode. So I know how people work in those countries, which to me is way more interesting than how the fucking American gets treated with tourist dollars.
Yeah.
So I really like that. I really like that part of traveling. And you can get that same experience in the United States. You know, there's different cultures and regions that have all kind of different idiosyncrasies and nuances.
I studied just what you know as yourself.
But the most shocking is definitely Japan. Yeah.
Thailand or any of that? I mean, you know, just
no, and I haven't been to South America. I skipped. There was a bunch of shows in South America with Bootsy that I didn't go to.
Gotcha. Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
Man.
Which I'm kind of mad about, but I had dad stuff to do, so. And I grew up in a broken family, so I knew, you know, like my little sister's a couple of years younger than me, and she doesn't hardly remember having two parents. So that was one thing I was sure I wanted to make, just to be there, you know. Well, and I've done a bunch of shit and been pretty successful, you know. I mean, I got into engineering when I was 19. I signed a production deal with Robbie Neville with my rock band, and we went out to LA to mix the songs we recorded in Philadelphia.
At 19.
Yeah, and Chris Lord Ouch. If you guys are engineers or not, you probably use his plugins. They're just called CLA.
Yeah, I use some of them.
Him and his brother, they mixed almost everything you can think of.
And then they shared them.
And when I was 19,
yeah,
they did 4 songs for us. And I went out and we spent, $3,000 a song, and in 3 hours he played the shit back, and I was like, oh my God. That's us.
Right. It's just like their
that's when I got bit. I was like, yo, I could do this for a living. If I'm not going to be a famous drummer, I could do this.
So let me ask you, because as a person who listens and definitely understands how well the song is actually mixed and mastered impacts the overall success of the song, right? The
Good
accessibility,
question.
the just the entire song. You think of the songs where, for me, when the mix is nice and warm and there's air and the song's breathing and there's space and depth and there's texture, all of these things, right? As an engineer and as someone that mixes and masters, walk us through that process. Is like, what is it that when you're putting together and mixing a track, how do you approach it? What is it that you're listening to put it together? Yeah, how does that come apart?
The
Explain
marriage.
it to people.
How
Yeah.
to make it nut up together.
Every instrument or voice in a mix has a specific fingerprint or sonic space that it wants to live in. There are many things that occupy that same space. So it's like a canvas. You have left and right and you have up and down, but I have a fixed amount of real estate. I only have so much liquid I can pour into my cup. So I have to be really specific about the things I'm putting in there if I want my mix to be as full as possible and have all the right flavors in it. It becomes hard to know in really dense mixes in modern music which of these instruments is supposed to do what. Which of these tracks is supposed to occupy which space. I don't want them to mask each other. I want them to marry. And this always starts at low end.
Yep. From the shoes, the feet.
And, I remember I went to beatbox and
they tried to give me a job and I almost did. And then 6 months later, they beat the shit out of fucking
Dave.
Which one?
Oh,
Dave or the one with the long finger?
Dave.
It was Chris and Dave. Chris Fee and Dave Arps. And I never went to work there. I only went to 2 sessions. And
hey,
I was like,
Toby, how you doing? Remember?
And at first, I was like, yo, that's fucking rad. The first studio I go to offers me a job to come work there.
Yeah, and it was crazy.
No, then I went home and I was like, why are they offering me a job?
So you can get beat up.
I already kind of know what they're doing and what I would do differently. So I just immediately bought my own shit.
Man,
and that's when I started fucking with cats, Early sessions with Fame.
Danye Fame?
Yup.
Yep. I went to high school.
Did you just say Fame? Shout out to Fame, boy.
Yep.
Shout out to Fame.
Who was some of my other early ones? Of course, Nard was one of my first sessions. Still one of my best homies. Okay. Nard was he was one of my best. He was at my wedding.
Nard? I'm not.
Yep. And so was Brian Herring.
Brian, shit, yeah.
These were the black sheep from Wanna Battle. These were the cats that were these were the cats that were too esoteric.
Remember Bernard?
That was Nard's my homie.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. I know you know what? I know I did
Preppy and was fucking Preppy.
Preppy? Did you say Preppy?
Yeah, what the fuck was their group name?
Preppy was part of
Eargasm.
Yeah, him and
Greg Greenlee.
Yeah, I got a story about that, but I'm not going to talk about it.
Yep, Greg Greenlee.
Yeah, because they actually called me and told me to Fresh, we want you to help me manage ours, and they came up with. I got a shirt from them. They called themselves
a bunch of people.
Ghetto. I still
Club
rock
Ghetto.
that shirt.
That's it. Yes. Club Ghetto. They were Eargasm before, and then Club Ghetto afterwards. Oh, bro, don't even talk about T-shirts. You have no idea who you're talking to.
You still got a T-shirt collection.
You have no idea.
That's dope.
I still rock my Club Ghetto, and people still ask me about it.
Unworn vintage stock, especially if it was a black band T-shirt, because all DJs wear black, so I don't wear black.
Yeah.
I literally have an entire fucking bin. I probably have hundreds of band T-shirts, and the coolest ones are like the most random, offbeat, weird shit ever.
Oh, let me tell you this, Toby. I actually got rid of those because I had like multiples for the record pool and the radio.
No, I'm gonna do a thing. I'm gonna do a thing with my daughters and let them like do a whole fashion thing with all retro, old school fucking hip hop and punk bands.
That's dope.
And shirts is shirts
Yeah,
ain't even relevant
Oh,
no more. They ain't even relevant. These groups ain't even doing nothing.
be the hottest shit ever, man. I've been watching the internet act stupid over itself for fucking 20 years, dude. You know what I mean? You wait till we do this animal cracker thing, and we start letting loose exactly who's on these compilations. You guys will shit yourselves. I guarantee it.
Man, looking forward to that. And when you drop anything or release anything, I really would love to have you back on, and we can get through it. And even if you can get the fellas on too, man, we'd love to have them on. We got plenty of room to be able to have everyone on.
Yeah, I talked to at least a couple of the crackers. We get at least 3 or 4 of us on. Some maybe not by the end of the year, but sometimes. Yeah, I guarantee.
We're kind of done for the end of the year.
We're booked. We're booking out. We're booked all the way into February. So I mean, this is really going, man, and we've got a lot of things on the horizon, and especially the other thing I'm trying to get together is seeing if there would be any interest in doing a battle for DJs, or at least have some DJs, because we have the ability to do this live here.
I hate battles.
Or how about performances instead of battles then?
Did you listen to Dibs? Dibs said, like, once he knew he wasn't going to be a battle DJ, he was like, nah, I'll do my mixtapes. He did not want to be like
the battle thing sucks. And the only reason I got back into it is because they invited me to do judging for shit. Mm-hmm. And I know in Cincinnati there was like big purses, and people, the cats that were coming to win were from outside of Ohio.
Yeah, it wasn't our people.
And I was like, when they asked me like the third year, I was like, I'm not judging, I'm in it, because the money ain't leaving Ohio.
No, and remember, like when John Doe came in, and we had the one with it was IDM. Who do we have?
Idea.
Who was it? From Atmosphere, Idea. Who was the DJ for him?
Yeah, Idea.
Yeah, he was cold. He was cold.
Yeah,
he was cold. And then John Doe came.
He's a bad boy.
John Doe came in third. I thought John Doe. And actually, if you still do vinyl, I just cleared my storage, and we still have. Yeah, buddy. So DJs start coming.
Well, you guys saw the collection from the Animal Crackers set. That was half of our record collection. All that shit in the background. That was
I still got crap in my brother's garage everywhere. And I was just like, okay, it's time to sell this stuff because I don't use it no more.
It was
I don't
30.
Need vinyl.
It was 30 when for the insurance. We had the studio there. It was 30 grand worth of vinyls. What we told them.
Damn.
And I remember we had our record pool over there. Remember that?
With Russo.
Oh, that was
with
Mike.
With Mike. Yeah, Mike.
That was fun. We was down there. You was down there in the north side, and we came over there and we did a whole record pool.
I had 1, 2, 3, 4 studios in that space of north side.
Yes, because you had one that did rock. You had the one. Yep. We was in you.
Yep. I had drum set up in one spot, turntables in one spot, keyboards and sequencers and drum machines and shit. I got lucky, fucking with Tech for those couple of years I spent with him. I learned a whole bunch about MPCs. I was already sequencing and shit, but
he is funny. MPC,
absolutely.
And Fat John.
Oh, that's my homie. So what you don't know is that me and all the 5Ds went to high school together.
See, I did not know that.
We were all in fucking like what class did I have with Kyle and John?
What high school?
Walnut.
Okay.
I went to Walnut for 2 years and got kicked out, and my mom kicked me out of the house too. And then I went to live with my dad in Woodlawn, so I was a Zone 15 kid. And then I went.
You was in Woodlawn?
I went to Princeton. My dad still lives in Woodlawn.
You went to Princeton?
I was one of the only cats that had a pass for to go into 15 like that. I go to the other side of the tracks and they'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
What year was you in?
I graduated in '93.
Man, you know my cousins. You know, like a Kurt Smith. You know Curtis Smith. My uncle was a truant officer over there. Big Curtis Smith.
Yes.
That's my uncle. Man, yo mama know my mama. That's what Scandal used to say, yo. He like Cincinnati, small city. We all did our thing, but yo mama know my mama.
Yes,
and
man.
we all found each other too.
And I love that homie too. That you mentioned Scandal. Because of course I did some early shit with him and CJ when he first moved here, and Groove and Daryl when he first moved here. These were all the cats that showed right up to, you know what I'm saying? Like, where do we go for hip hop? They met us at Top Cats, really.
Top Cats.
They're still my homies. Still my homies to this day, man. Jay Sands, Jay Rawls, the rest of the fucking Ohio Get Down, 5Ds.
And so both of y'all are actually, because I want to get Jay Rawls on there. I actually, to get back in here, I started doing just these podcasts. Everybody want to talk about Scribble Jam, like, and then you get the hidden story. They're like, they know what I was doing. They just thought, oh, he was just doing radio show. Like, I was producing the Storm Children and all my
Reagan.
Reagan, the Empire. Dame Boogie,
man.
The
Dame, I did records with all them cats back in the day. You already know.
And they tell me like some people weren't telling you, but I was like the hidden secret. They just thought I just.
Then I did the fucking Zarnock shit, right? Then I got into like all the I did all those years.
He's doing artwork now.
All that dope. Hayes is my dude, man. We already already caught up. I met Kanye, and I mixed 3 of his songs before he was even rapping.
Through Zarnock and them.
Zarnock, yeah. No, but I met Kanye in the back of a fucking Denali in Westchester smoking blunts, and
I know the spot you talking about because that was the dude.
Carlos.
Name.
Carlos. Yes. The Black Family Construction Company.
Yep.
That ran a bunch of shit in the city, and then tied in with some other monies and some other things too.
But my father was
and Kanye was in the back, and Carlos, the owner of the label, was like, "Yeah, Tobe does all tech shit too." He's like, "Oh, you do tech shit?" He's like, "You know Kweli." Well, look what I just did. And he played me the Gots to Get By before that shit came out. And I heard that beat, and I was like in the front seat. And I turned around like, "You made this shit?" He's like, "Yeah, son." I'm like, "You're from Ohio?" He's like, "Nah, son, I'm from New York." I was like, "Okay." Time passes. They booked the sessions up in not Quad, but whatever the other studio was. The other, fuck.
I know you're talking about, and I dealt with one battle. I was like,
smoking weed on the roof, and you're looking at the fucking Times Square Coca-Cola thing. Anyway, the 3 songs that he produced, he shows up. We go to his apartment, which isn't in New York. It's in New Jersey. And that's when I met Rhymefest, and me and him became super tight.
Yeah, shout out to Rhymefest.
What year did you meet Rhymefest in?
Well, I met him in Transits at the battle for Scribble.
Okay, yeah.
But we became friends in the studio session in 2001.
Yeah, a little later. He came back in one Scribble Jam.
Yeah, well, me and him stayed tight after that. He would when he was still doing the battle scenes, he would call me and we would talk about punchlines.
And same with me.
I would say, well, the first thing I'm going to tell you is take Kanye's dick out of your mouth. So just say it.
Right. Jesus walks.
He called me on the way. I have a recording for the second verse of the song that we did together. Rhymefest spit the verse over the phone a cappella in the airport waiting to go to reshoot reshoot Jesus Walks. That's one of the joints that I haven't released, and I saw him with the Crackers thing. The first song, the first verse he did when he was in town, and then we talked about we were going to finish it up. He got busy and started doing all the Kanye shit. He's like, "I wasn't bullshitting you. Here's what my verse is." And he sent it to me over the phone, and I recorded it. And then I chopped it up and put it to the beat, and it's murder.
Damn.
And he's saying all the terrible shit. Offbeat white folks with their fucking crass ass scratch. I told him to diss me, diss the Animal Crackers, diss Kanye, diss everybody, and he put all that shit in first. It is fucking ballistic.
Damn.
Ballistic. But I'll leave the rest of my Kanye story out because it doesn't end very good, and I wasn't very impressed. But that boy can make some beats. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, absolutely.
This is when he was with Glowgower Entertainment and all that pseudo shit. And then when I met Fest and I really learned, he's like, no, man, dude's from Chicago with me, man. We grew up together. And then he was telling me, no, he was the one that was in the fucking private school.
I used to talk to them dudes like, because, my job with Scribble Jam was getting the MCs. But, I was a rapper and all that, then DJ. I did a little bit of everything, broke dance until I got too tall and couldn't do all that. But, I would talk to, my main thing was getting the top. I talked to Mark Kemp. So I tell I tell my baby, I talked to Mark Kemp. He's like, I got this.
Hey, I met Noah and I met and fucking hung out with Eminem after he won that year, and he came down in his homie's hatchback Honda, and they gave us doubles of all the shit, and then we went back and listened to the record, and those were the verses on the record were the same freestyles he had just won the battle with.
Yes. His first I forgot the name of it because he was messing with what's his name? Royce the 5'9". They were doing something together.
Yep.
Man,
and I was impressed. It was super dope, and he got signed to Dre almost the year after.
Well, so he used that scribble footage, and he said he didn't win, and then he was going with Juice and Rhyme Fest, and they was going around the circuit. And he said, man, Cincinnati Scribble Jam was the turning point. So
that's cool.
I knew who was there then, so I'm telling my wife now. She was like, yeah, I hear this story ad nauseum, and she was like. And I said, she taped something. She's like, I taped this for you. I said, that's me right there. And Ghost is in there too. Like, that's us. I said,
I've been on with just all of that. I mean, we've been on, MTV, every single, anything they've ever put together on Eminem. That footage is always
that Cincinnati shit. And it shows you how powerful we are.
There's a bunch of DJs too that murdered shit coming out of that. He used to be called Vajra. Now he's Chris Carnes. Yes. He was always Chris. He was always Chris to us, but he used to go by Vajra. Mm-hmm. And Ghost, you're in Colorado, right?
I am now. Yeah.
So you absolutely know who the fuck I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
Because he does all Pretty Light shit too.
Yeah,
and I remember me and him trading solo scratches in our little cracker tent because we used to kill shit back in the back. Everybody else sold merch, but we had a whole scratch set up, right?
Yeah,
we had we'd mini stage in the corner just for scratch routine shit. And DJs that were competing would come back and warm up back there too.
That's dope.
And I remember me and him trading bars, and I was like, "Woo, who the fuck is that?" Because Mike brought him. Mike B. brought him.
Mike, yeah. Because I remember
Mike was the first one out of the crackers that was really into the whole internet side of DJ shit.
Yes. Because I remember Mike. I knew Noah early. Then I met you. And what's the other member of the Animal Crackers?
There's quite a few. Well,
let's go with the original.
Noah, and Casey, who goes by King Smo, were the three originals. And then we added DQ and Mike B. And then Matt Russo, and then we had
Russo.
And then we had Unseen, rest in peace, was our MC. One of them.
Yes, rest in peace to him.
And then the other one was Jason.
Jason.
Unknown stuntman. Nobody.
The unknown stuntman, man. Shout out to him. That's Jason Lucky, man.
And we used to call we used to do shows. And he'd come out and we'd introduce him as the Animal Blacker.
Yes.
So hold on. I called.
These were the
and
same
so-
days that we came to like the first. We opened up for Busta Rhymes at
Yeah.
Bogarts, and we got
So-
booed massively.
Of course, and like you would be because nobody.
And then we
really
started
knows.
playing, and,
That's how
and
they work here.
yeah, and then we started playing, and they started loving it.
So I actually got a picture where Zeb, when he was Mephisto and
Yeah,
Dirty.
yeah.
So they out in Arizona, both of them out in Arizona. He like, yo, Fresh, man, you blowing my phone up. And they was at the Bengals and the Arizona Cardinals game. And they called me back. And he was like, man, Fresh, man, hip hop, man, you that dude, and da da da. I said, man, there's a lot of people that's that dude. And the stories and this continuing.
Yeah,
I gotta give a shout out to Carl. He just checked in.
Yeah, you already
I'll
know
tell you
that-
about. I'll
that-
tell you about
well,
high
see,
tech.
Me and Carl grew up together, so you
Carl
already know.
Mitchell.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, so when I moved to Cincinnati, we moved right to Clifton. So I'm a Clifton school
Okay.
kid. I grew up like ground zero and shit of all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you said Bengals shit, and I probably should. You guys asked me what I should have talked about.
What's that?
We were supposed to do the halftime show against Buffalo Bills last year.
Oh,
with Zap, Bootsy, and then Hamlin had his
that guy
heart attack, which so
I've
they
never
canceled
seen
that
that.
performance.
damn.
Literally, it was the craziest shit I've ever been involved in.
I've never.
So
seen
you
that
were
like
there when all that stuff was real time, and you just didn't know what
I
the
was
hell
supposed to
was
play
going
the
on.
halftime show.
That's crazy.
I was
Tell us
already-
about that, man. Tell us about that.
I already had the
experience.
turntables set up, and we sound checked and ready to go.
So were you on the already down on the field when that? Because that
No,
was,
I was sitting
backstage and
yeah.
yeah.
Actually, I was supposed to be backstage, but I snuck out to watch the game.
Right on.
and then we ain't know what was going on. We was like, man,
Dude.
that
So
was.
the
I've never
seat-
seen that.
I've never been in. There's something to be said for 60,000 people all losing their stomach at the same time. That is a. There are some experiences that I've had with multiple, like large groups of people that are really powerful.
Yeah.
And Isaiah earlier was saying something about religious experience or perception, and I
spiritual type of experience.
I'm not a religious person, but
You was moved.
I believe in the sensitivity of all humans. That's for absolutely sure. And it was a shocking thing to be a part of. Number one.
Yeah.
And so they canceled the game, then rebooked us. The first show was going to be with Zap. So I had one of the first big records I ever did was after the brother killed his other brother.
Oh God!
Yeah,
I
when
remember that
they killed Roger.
Yeah.
That's when Roger was killed.
I did the tribute record. I was the engineer for the tribute record.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I met all these dudes that long ago.
Okay.
They showed up to rehearsal. Lester Troutman walked in and he screamed. He said, "I told you it was the same Toby." And he remembered me from that long ago.
That's dope.
I was so tickled pink, and it was such a heavy thing to do, and a cool story to be able to tell at this point. But so they sent me. Bootsy says, we want to do the fucking a mashup. Let's take some of More Bounce, and then turn it into one of the Bengals songs that I've done in the past with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I say, well, it'd be really great if I had all the individuals.
How did that go?
Y'all already know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like.
So I made the mashup. It's a 6-minute fucking song or whatever, comp together.
Yeah.
Lester hears it. He's like, "Hey, kid, did you do a whole mix of the whole song? Because that shit sounds awesome." So I remixed fucking More Bounce to the Ounce just for that performance, even though we only used 2 minutes of it. And I still have it. I have a couple other things that I've done that are really cool that never saw the light of day that are unique horns.
You need about. Go ahead. Oh, you're freezing.
Scheduled for something else. So Bootsy calls Ohio Players, and we end up doing Fire into that.
Fire from Ohio Players. Yeah.
Into the Bengals, theme song that we were on or whatever. But it was cool. It was, it was definitely the largest group of people I've performed in front of. It was, 60-something thousand people. Yeah, it was a trip. Just that whole story was just kind of rad.
And this is a lesson of like, if you do your work and you do your things, and then and you might not be a household name. I mean, you are to me, and that's what we brought it on there. But like,
I'm a household name at home when they want something cleaned up.
I bet they
when they want dinner and shit. When they want
right, I'm like, hey, Daddy,
can we get it? Can we get this?
And,
can we watch this
ready.
movie?
I'm hungry. They'll figure it out later.
Can you cleanse my Amazon cart?
And everybody on this phone knows it's like, hey,
oh yeah,
this dude, like, hey, there's platinum plaques on the wall. Who cares?
Well, I'll tell you this. You bring that up.
Go ahead.
I could ask for multiple things that I've done. Mm-hmm. I got platinum shit. I did the Kali Uchis shit that went platinum. I did 4 songs on the Silk Sonic record.
Yeah,
really?
I want. So that's
really
what I wanted to ask you.
I'm one of 10. I'm one of 10 engineers on that record.
Okay, so you got engineering
on the Silk Sonic album.
I didn't mix it. Fucking Serbia Ghana mixed the shit.
Okay,
that dude's a fucking savant genius. But I'm one of 10 people that did engineering.
Participated, yeah.
What's a trip is that Bruno's head engineer is best friends with my childhood best friend that I mentioned earlier, the guy that helped me make the light switch.
Okay.
Yeah.
My homie's still one of the best artists I know. I still play music with him. He sent me a song, wanted me to play drums on it recently. Awesome ass fucking cat. But those two are best friends. So I ended up talking to Bruno's engineer as we're getting shit organized. And he's like, oh, you're from Cincinnati? I got a friend of mine from Cincinnati. He names his name. I'm like, well, you're fucking kidding me. So it ain't just a small Cincinnati,
Yeah.
And this was all pandemic work, so everything was remote.
You're right.
Got you. So I wanted to ask you specifically, back when you were talking about it earlier, who have you? Are you just some of the folks that are albums or projects?
I played drums and toured with Color Me Bad, dude.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. When was that?
Off and on a couple times.
Nice, man.
Wow.
None of it really got off the road. The first one is an entire story of its own.
Understood.
This is gonna be another segment because
you can't even touch it. You can't even touch it.
That's
This is
our listeners know what y'all listening to. Y'all listen to what we.
My wife loved that shit growing up, and I hated them. And of course, I get the fucking job.
That was like a one-hit wonder, and like I think they put out a second single.
You should have seen how these fucking girls were acting when we played some of those
Flash
songs.
in the Pan, you're right?
Yeah, man.
I adore.
Oh yeah, man. Oh God,
bruh. I mean,
you've been in studios, you know.
I'm telling you, like, panties thrown on stage in the worst way.
Sounding good.
This is when we were
auto-tune in.
This is when we were 35, and this panties. This ain't 18-year-olds.
Yeah, God. Well, hey,
that shit was crazy.
They throwing panties for the babies that was made when you was young.
That shit was crazy. They're all good. They're all good dudes. They're all good dudes. Yeah. So I've done some weird shit, and some of it I don't like to admit to.
Is there an artist that you like, would want to work with, or that you like? You've trying to think how to say it properly. Like, is that what's the dream artist, or have you actually already worked with your like artist or been involved with any of that? With who is that?
So I've already got a handful of songs that I scratched and mixed with Chuck D.
Oh my God.
Oh God. Yeah.
I've got let's see, Dougie Fresh. I've done Snoop up and down the fucking block. I don't know if you guys looked at Discog shit, but a bunch of that stuff I don't even remember doing. Literally don't remember doing.
Because you was that dude. Everybody was like, Tobe is the dude. I mean, like
it's to my own default. Like,
yeah,
I just
gotcha.
The project's done. I'm on to the next shit.
Mm-hmm.
I performed opened for Rakim a couple of times. But
drums or DJ or both?
DJing both times.
Okay.
And we were gonna do a song. I was trying to, I push him constantly for like certain people, like Drez. I'm like, yes, whatever you have to do, fucking get him.
Drez from Black Sheep?
Yeah, the song we did is fucking murder. Oh my God. I don't even know if it ever came out. One day we're all sitting around, I can play you guys some stuff.
Absolutely.
But Rakim is still one that I would love to work with, and then a couple of them are already dead, so I missed that boat.
Well, I had this dude that used
but
to
I take every opportunity as luck. You know what I mean?
Hey, Bobby Scott. I mean, if you're listening, I don't know if you're in jail. I hope you're alive. But he was like, he's swerving down. He was a cousin, and I got on a conference call, and he gave me specific questions on how he created. I was like, yeah, Bobby Scott. And I was talking to Rakim. He was like, he said, Bob B. Scott. And they're like, I asked the question nobody on that conference call could ask because I was talking to him. He's like, man, what's the first crew you was with? He said, B. Scott. And you're like, like my guilty pleasure was, like my heroes of production were Premier. I mean, hands down. Premier. I mean, I loved a lot. I love Dr. Dre and all that, but Premier was my thing.
I tended to, for me, some of the shit the Bomb Squad did was ballistic.
Oh yeah. I can't.
Can't
knock that.
The Dust Brothers, the shit they did for Paul's Boutique is still for me.
That's funky as hell too.
And I got a chance to meet them and the Automator and a couple other people at a rock show in fucking San Francisco at one point, which was super
Brand Heavies. I mean, just things.
Oh, there you go.
Just different. Yeah, just different stuff that you like that creates your sound, and you don't want to create. You don't You want to have some of their sounds and some of their ideas and create it and come differently. Because I think we grew up in the era of not biting.
You can't bite. You had to be original.
But the industry would make you bite, and they're like, "Oh, what takes it to be like that?" And I'm on conference calls where I talk to people that's really under the scenes, and they still doing things and like you don't even know who you're talking to. I met this dude. His name is Carlisle. He's actually in movies. He fashion designed for The Deal and all that. Bootsy Collins and stuff like that. He's in movies now, and I want to get him on the show. Shout out to Carlisle, and he does fashion for hip hop. He's like just does that type of thing. So you want people to like give their experiences, like and just getting into the industry is tricky. But you have to be consistent. You have to have a skill that people want. And Tobe, you have it, bro. I mean,
absolutely.
I appreciate that, and I'd like to refine that compliment if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I know that it takes being badass at what you do. It takes being consistent. It takes being a good human.
Yeah, that's the best part.
If you have all of those three things in line, then you're ready for when luck shows up.
Yes.
It's like a train ticket that you don't know the schedule for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have, and you can't not be focused and not be skilled when luck comes around. You can't have lost your rotation when opportunity comes. You got to have all that shit together at the same time. Just because you're good, just because you're cool.
There's a million people like that. I mean, you know,
exactly,
like, not a million,
exactly
but
right. It's
thousands.
Shit. Those two things aren't enough. The world will show you that. We have tons of people that we know from our networks that make awesome music.
And they ain't got to be the best, but they're ready.
They're underappreciated, or they're like me, and they're just not so concerned with putting it out. I just enjoy making it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm lucky that I've been a kept man for the past 20 years working underneath one of the greatest legends in music ever.
Ever.
That doesn't fall on me with deaf ears.
Man, you get emotion. Go ahead.
It's I put myself in this.
We're chopping up a little bit for just for a moment, so you know that we're.
Pause. No, you back. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, you good. This success that I have is the second. It's my backup plan.
And it became your major plan.
Yeah.
And now you teach other people this.
And I realized what I have been doing my whole life as being a leader of the bands and all the different capacities and formulations that I've worked in. I've always been a leader. And I've always been a teacher. And I've always excelled at that and made people feel comfortable in that environment. And what I know I do good is I take people's art and I make it better.
Man, you're dope. And that's why, I reached out to you and I said, man.
Well, I appreciate you inviting me. I am humble because I tell you in all honesty,
I'm humbled.
When I came back home and all I had was those cassettes to listen to. 88.3 was the first cat, I would say. Who was before ICD?
It was ICD, Chester T,
yeah, man.
So my OG roots are there. Like I have a comparison from
Rhyme Time.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So I just turned 49.
Yeah. I'm 55.
I'm almost 48, so yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Baby.
Exactly
I'm on my.
You never thought you was gonna hear that one.
Stop that Ghost Boogie 66. I'm like, I ain't older than me.
No, that 66 has nothing to do with age, man.
No, I got you.
All right.
But I bring business to everybody. I mean, everything we was doing. I met Divs. He was laying on a fucking couch. It was some dude that I used to rap with, and I was like, he was whack. His voice sounded like a frog. And then, so this is how I met Divs. I went over there to like, we was trying to get some stuff together, and like every beat I heard, I was like, who did the beat? And he was like, Divs was laying on the couch like, I did. And then like he kept talking about like we gonna have 2 DJs, and this like
he used to make all that. He used to make all that jazzy cool shit too.
Yeah, I mean, man, we used to steal my father's records. I hope he ain't listening, but he already knows.
I remember blasting on him. Like, hey, white dude making that medallion music.
Oh man, we used to perform, and I mean, we would perform at Avondale and the hood spots, and it's like they would get mad because this white dude was making some dope music, and Ghost Boogie can relate to that doing skippers.
Yeah, that was the thing. I think so. Here's the thing.
Oh, yeah, you DJ skippers.
Yeah.
That's how I met him.
So when I was, my thing is that if you remember Wednesday nights, old school funk R&B jazz night when it was 35 and older, you got to realize I was there, and my mentor was the one that they hired, and he brought me with everything, and he was the one that was teaching me to DJ and blend, and actually my knowledge of music, and he
Give
brought
him a
me in.
shout out. Give him
Well,
a shout
that's
out.
Doc Smith, right? And
Doc
that man,
Smith. Come on now.
that
Oh
man,
shit! I
he was
was
a
in a.
te-
Hold on.
he was a teacher
I
at
had a. I
Hughes.
did a battle. Hold on. Give me 15
He didn't
seconds.
battle.
Let me piss. Hold on, man.
All right, no
Yeah,
problem.
go ahead.
But so what it was is this, and yeah, man, like for the folks, had a large club that I DJ'd with, and it was 35 and older, and it held several thousand, and it
Yeah,
was
at least.
and that we had the biggest night. We were bigger than Friday and Saturday. On a Wednesday night, people were there. They came.
Yep.
So the what I will say, all of that, instead of just fluffing myself up, because I'm not trying to do that. My thing is I learned how I learned. But here's the thing that's special about Ohio, and especially being of the Caucasian persuasion, and especially at Skipper's at that club, right? So there was no excuse. There was no messing up. Especially because if I messed up, I'm a booth like the booze, all of because
Fresh,
it
you
was
said you were
that.
going to give me a bathroom break, but you never did, so I just took it.
Right. Wait, Matt.
So the thing that I would
got a
say
beat
is,
for you.
working
No,
because
but I'm sorry. You said Doc Smith. I swear to you, but I think
he
you
wasn't a
said he
turntablist. He didn't battle. No, so he was older. He was much older than me. He was about 10 years older than me, right? So
Mixologist.
yeah, he was a mixologist. He taught
caddies,
radio.
Not caddies. Yeah, was it caddies?
There was caddies
No,
downtown, and then
we
you
had
had
caddies.
Skippers,
We had
caddies.
Skipper.
but
Skipper
Skippers
Caddies
was
Yacht
out.
Club.
Skippers was
Yacht
out
Club.
in Reading
Right, it was Redding. It was in the old
it is Reading.
rinks. It was in the old rinks right there,
Hamilton.
across from Woodward High School.
Yes.
So it was right there, and right there by the Wiz radio station. So the biggest thing is that in Ohio, regardless of your complexion definitely made it more difficult if you were trying to do this shit, and especially in front of 35 and older.
If you
all
wanted to
black
DJ,
artists.
if you wanted to DJ and do hip hop, shit was hard for you. But if you wanted to go to school and get a job,
yeah, exactly. But and so you had to. The thing that I think that was that made Ohio special, and anybody coming out of Ohio, because Ohio's very critical audience, and you have to be on. You have like you had mentioned earlier, you have to know and have the confidence that I'm the shit, and I'm not going to talk about it because I have to actually go out and prove it. And I'm gonna shut up until people actually give me the respect. Right? I'm gonna earn it, and it made you present your best self, and it really is like that whole iron sharpens iron. And because there's so many talented people in Ohio, and DJs and MCs and artists, anything and everything, and and especially when it comes to this hip hop thing, the Cincinnati scene does not get its respect or due. But also, I mean, just the music, there is really not any modern hip hop, or I will say the golden age of the 90s funk West Coast sound without Ohio.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And we wasn't,
impossible.
We were trying to do what New York was doing, because they had the boroughs and everything.
Yeah.
I'm at High Tech. I remember just walking across Walmart. And I was like, me and High Tech really looked at each other I was like, we just did this double take.
I remember the first time I met Tone, he was still delivering pizzas for the Roses in his family.
That's what Diaz was doing. Man, I was in the store.
And he got his game up, and it's one of the best compliments. Me and Tech, we had great work together, and we both did a bunch for each other. And one of the greatest compliments I've had to this day is he was introducing me to his new manager, whatever, and he said, "Yo, this Tobe, I was lowercase High Tech before I got with him."
So,
and I kind of looked sideways because it was crazy, because Bootsy was there. It was the Snoop show, and Snoop was on the other side, And he's saying that, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then he says, when you gonna let Tobe come back and play? I'm like,
And I tell you, and we need to get High Tech on our show because I see High Tech. I was out somewhere when his mom was there. I'm like, yeah, well, I was just talking about I do music, and she's like, you know, my son High Tech. I said, yeah, like, and me and High Tech was like, I was told him like, I started talking to him because like when you get together with people,
yeah,
and
right.
that's what that the Cincinnati, the crab and the barrel shit was real. I mean, camps was so separated. Like I had storm children, I had this and that. You had superpowers. I brought them into my camp. You had these different camps that was just not communicating. I had I put together a platform. We had Scribble Jam. I had 3 radio shows. We had B Boys Underground, which we're doing now, and then I had the record pool. And people wasn't talking to each other. And they
Yeah,
were
right.
like, my cat would not let you know that like nobody knew I did the music. And I remember we failed on getting a Scribble Jam somewhere. So I had like 5 beat CDs. I came back, everybody was freestyling on this shit. Like, whose beats are these? Nobody knew. My camp said, no, they didn't want to let you know who that music was. It was my music. They just thought I only did radio. I said, I do the beats. I had the label. And it was just like nobody was working together. And
Well,
I'm like,
that's
I like,
fresh.
go ahead.
That's where I got lucky. Is not only did I have my own production element, right? So I did, High Tech signed. He bought Piacon from his deal with RCA,
Oh God, I just seen PyCon. Yep. Dope. I
and
just seen PyCon. And
another
he's
one of my
with my
homies. Hey, and this is another. When I say my cats, he was in my wedding.
PyCon was in your wedding?
Yeah.
Man, I seen PyCon. So like
You want to know some
remember,
crazy shit? You want to know some crazy shit? My wedding
go
party,
ahead. Yeah.
Piacon, Nard, DQ, Noah, Casey from the Crackers, MC Paul Barman, who's the father of nerd rap.
Was Crunch there?
Nope.
Remember Crunch for okay.
But you know who I still fuck with? I mean, I talk with Crunch on a regular. I'm still doing shit with Skillet.
So I went to the beat battle. And
Now, see, before his sister died,
Home Skillet. Hell yeah.
before his sister died,
he
I
got
met with the
a new
family
name.
because he was going through some shit. And
Who'd you meet
Skillet,
with?
Skillet was his sister. His sister passed, and she was helping him transition kind of his health, mental
Damn.
health stuff. And we had a meeting, and they asked some favors of me, and I said yes. So I still work with, I don't do the recording and stuff like I used to. Like I used to really be in the guts with people, but I got kids now, and I don't have time for that shit.
Man,
So you send me stuff, and I'll mix it in my fucking underwear when everybody's asleep.
I feel you. I feel you with saying, and I might need. I'm working on a project too. I need.
I got you. And anybody that's peeping this shit out, then I got you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I mean,
I have
what I
distribution
do
too.
professionally. Every person, no matter how good or how bad, this song has one thing about it that's important to that person.
Mm-hmm.
That's a reason that you made this song. I guarantee you, I'm the fastest to find that theme in your song and make sure that the mix represents that. That's the shit that I do.
And I'm gonna tell you this too, because I'm not a producer. I'm an arranger. It might not even be my beat, and I'm gonna get you wait a minute, I like drop that out. I'll say, who is this dude? I used to help people develop their names and then to develop your sound. I said, well, okay, you got 4 people in the camp, and then you're performing. This dude, I remember we was performing with somebody's cousin. He hid. We was performing on the square, and this dude hid behind the block. I said, he got to go. I said, you got 4 people in your crew? You're going to have 2 when I'm done with you. It ain't working. They ain't ready. I said, because this is like, that's why I started looking at it as a professional business. And, and let me tell you this about Scribble Jam too. Dibs and other people, like, once it got really big, we used to get entertained all these calls about people like, man, we'll come there and perform. I was like, well, send me your music. And we were like, nah, it ain't good enough. Scandal went through that. Scandal, who I put on my label. Scandal would come down there with a new song. We was like, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. And then when he came with 16 in the bag, I said, yeah, you ready. I was looking at it as a mogul at the same time, but people never knew that G Fresh was doing all the music behind the scenes. They just saw me as the radio dude, the record pool dude. I was like the jack of all trades and master of all. But my camp would not tell you who did that music. They was like, no, they were trying to keep me sequestered.
Well, then I guess that ain't no camp. Shout out to Jay Wiz, who I call Black James, if we're talking about Scandal.
Hey, hold on. And we're going to get him on there. Jay Wizzo.
You know, I did a massive posse cut for the first crack.
How long ago? That had to be a while ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago. It's got everybody on it. And the beat that I made, Katz was like, yo, that shit is fast and crazy, man. I don't know if I can rhyme over that. So I was like, okay, first verse is mine.
Mm-hmm. You rapped on it?
There's no way I can sit in the studio and give critiques to someone like Piacon, for example, if he doesn't respect my ability.
That you can do it. That you're right.
Man, wait till you hear these songs. Khan is like, yeah, okay, we getting on this one. He made me rap.
Word.
I made Dibs rap, and boy, if I could find it, I think it's on a.
I'm all over the place, bro. My ass. I started as a rapper.
Yeah, I mean, like.
Well, I take it back. I take it back. Let's be honest. I started breakdancing.
Hey, I did it all.
That was it.
I did it all. Only thing I didn't do.
Breakdancing got me in.
I did not do graffiti, but I actually, like, when I was in college, I did all of that. Like early Mac. I'm a PC guy. I did all the thing. I would take the pictures and flip them. I was cold like Ghost Boogie. You're cold with this shit. So he does like he takes our stuff. I used to do that early in college. So I would get our flyers and everything together. Yeah. That's what he's doing now. So he just set the new one. Cold as fuck. He's like, oh, we're gonna change the beat up for the intro every time to show what we're doing. We're just trying to build on this. It ain't even Cincinnati. It's just hip hop.
Hit me up, shoot me an email. I got some random stuff that ain't being.
I'd love to connect with you, especially
used currently, and I'm always down to put some things into orbit a little bit. I'm usually dragging my feet to most shit because I don't need. It's a terrible thing to say, but I don't need to. I got a fucking huge record that I'm going to finish it by the end of the year, and it takes 6 months for the promotional fucking engine to show up, and everybody and the mother fucking is on the record, so I just gotta bite my own tongue for what I want to do.
Yeah, and
I need that more bounce to the house.
Boy, man,
I need that. You got to email me that, man.
I just got turned on to a bunch of Parliament and other original James Brown recording multi-tracks.
Man, hey, do you got that bathroom break joint I play? I mean, it's just old shit that I actually used to put out beat CDs. It was like beat CD 90. I started and I caught a random artist. I'm finishing his product off of old beats, and I would never let nobody rap to this because I didn't. You know how you cheated the game back then? I was cheating the game. I was just doing so much music. So right now, like, oh God, this ain't mixed down. And so, like, it is what it is. But now everything I put out is like I change it and do
I
that.
put my email in the chat for
Word.
everybody to get at. So hit me
We're
up.
gonna do
So
that.
you want me to share that out to everyone in the chat that's on the episode as well, or you
Yeah,
just...
I give 2 fucks, man. Y'all need work done. You want something happen?
2 fucks? You sound like my woman.
I'm the dude. Hey, I'm the dude to do it. You know, I'm gonna be done with this record.
Flying fuck.
I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna be done with Boosie's record. I've been doing this for the past 2 years, so I'll be done with this one. It's like the 8th record I've done with him, and then I'm gonna have some time coming up the next 6 months, and I'm looking for some cool shit to do. So maybe maybe it includes one of these great patrons of your jams. So
Well, I've got, so the cat, he's in the chat. He was the one that made the beat that we started off the show with.
Which I did.
Can you play that? Can you play that?
Absolutely. If you
got,
got,
I already remember that whoop bass already.
Do you mind if I play it?
Nah, hit me.
Sure.
Again. All right, here we go. Let's see here. Again, this is Herbs One, Basic Beats. He's my homie. He's my brother. He's on my other podcast. So I got 2 podcasts. We got this one, and then I've got a one that's on Mondays and Thursdays, where it is a 420 bass. Smokers, like, just, we clown, we laugh at inappropriate stuff and enjoy life. It's like just a sesh where you get together with your friends, smoke up, drink up, and talk that ish. So, and it's heavily driven by submissions from the individual users, because we have a separate Discord server for that. And again, we are trying to get the submission game going on with this again. So hit that follow button on the submission or on the Discord.
Great.
But yeah, he is one of my bros, and he knocks it out of the park every time, every single thing.
Y'all love my Popeye shirt.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hey, when we get on this show, we showing, like, I see your Adidas, and you're like, well, hey, we advertise.
If I'd have known it's gonna be like this, I'd address myself. Well, you guys see what
I'm
you guys seen what some of my garb is. Bootsy taught me a long time ago. You want to separate yourself from the character, right? So
yeah,
some of those outfits I wear are literally from the rubber band. I went into his closet and stole shit.
Damn.
I bet you did.
See, man, you don't understand.
So now,
shout out to Bootsy, man. Fuck.
Oh, hey,
hold on.
Hey, big love to William Collins.
Yes, absolutely. Man,
I got his picture on the wall right here, signed G Fresh. I met him because I was talking to George B. He was like, man, they tried to put me in the camp, and I was like, I'll wait on that, but I should have jumped on that one.
Nah.
I got a signed hat. That's a prized possession. I've got a signed one of his Bootsy hats signed. That's like a
George B was like, man. He said, man, Bootsy. He said he needs to hear your beats. I was like, okay, I'm just doing what I do.
All right, play me that Herbs jammy.
There we go. I'm ready.
Let's go.
Boom. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and then play the because I was like, we're gonna keep changing that, and now the outro beat is now what we started with. Can you play that one?
Yep.
What's the name of it?
That's funky.
As G Fresh.
That's the intro, but we're gonna use it as the outro now. So
He's
we
so
got
slick. He's
we
so slick.
no, we're gonna we're gonna change this up. This is the way we're gonna do it. So that started. Everybody said, "Man, that's the perfect podcast beat." I was like, "Okay, we got much music to give. You got a beat. Our intro is gonna be for our guests, and then like it'll go out with that, and that's gonna change too. Because remember, Ghost, we picked that one out.
Yep.
We listened to a few, and everybody heard it. Like I talked to some of my dudes that want to get in the car. They're like, "Man, that's the perfect podcast beat." I said, "Well." I said, yeah, that's just one fucking beat.
Well, I say cheers to y'all, man. I think what you're doing is rad, and I think it was informative to me to even vibe off Isiah Ollie shit. And I like how he pronounces Ali and spelled the shit like kickflip. That's just hard.
Yeah. For real.
That's some Chicago shit too. So I want to say shout out to dude. I know he's not in the vibe no more, but I'm sure he's probably gonna peep it later. So
I wish he'd have stayed on. I mean, because
I dig it. I wouldn't have done.
Yeah, I mean, it happens like that.
I would have done. I would have done the same thing to him. So I want to let him know that I'm glad I got to witness that. So
yeah, I mean, we got it. He talked about rebranding your name. You want to change your name?
Yeah. Well, I know about that. Bootsy made me do that.
For real.
What did it make you do?
I used to be called Casual T.
So why? So tell us about that experience and tie that in, and we can wrap it up and send it home. Like, what was that like? And why did he say? What was his like? You said he was the one that persuaded you to do that. What was the reasoning behind that?
He said he found somebody else on mp3.com that also played drums and made beats and scratched records.
With the same name?
Yep. And my response was, he can't hold a candle to me. He said, I know.
Change it up.
That's not the point. You need a name that no one would ever have. You need a name that is uniquely yours. You need a name that maybe is even hard for people to pronounce. Right? It's something to talk about. Which is why, like Ghost, you said, how do I pronounce that? I said, you keep guessing.
Yeah. I was like, nah, don't do that to me, man.
It's called a conversation.
I do it every time. It's part of the thing, right?
Yeah, when it's a name that makes somebody like.
It's something that he taught me about understanding the difference between who you are and the fucking doctor you play on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm two different people.
And then I do
one thing that I'm accountable and responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then the other thing I do to sell I slept myself out to the world. And I am everyone else's discretionary income. My kids eat after your kids are already fed and you got extra change in your pocket. So
that's deep.
So how important am I as an artist?
Very important. Right.
Like where do I fall in that totem pole of what's priority for people? So I have a good lens on, I think, what my art and my efforts are worth, and I don't ask more of the world. Then I'm ready to be denied.
Yeah, and I made sure people knew that, like, what I went from. I did not change my name. It's G-Fresh. I just made dash be a full word. It was literally G-Fresh, but I found somebody else that there's some other G-Freshes out in the world. I say, well, I'm G-Fresh.
My real name is Tobias.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been Toby because my dad was born on Toby Street in Connecticut, so it's a cool nickname.
Oh,
and nobody spells it like Tobe. So I tell people I'm to be or not to be. And my uncles instead of calling me Tobias, which was my first name, one of my uncles would call me Botias.
Bow ties.
And when I told Bootsy that, he fucking lost it. He thought it was the fucking freshest thing ever. He said, you call yourself Botias. And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd taken 6 years of Latin because both of my grandfathers were surgeons with their own practices. So if you didn't do law or medicine in my family, you were a fuck up. Which I have been my entire life, but I've managed to be a successful one. And
you're a super.
And I thought the coolest thing would be to make my name a palindrome, at least the shortened version of it. So I just tell people, call me Tobot.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been accused of the same way I got the name for the Animal Crackers. You guys never asked me that. It's because when I played drums, I had long ass fucking hair, and all the girls would call me Animal at the shows. And because I was the only white dude doing hip hop, they called me a cracker. So I showed up at fucking UDF to get, a couple tall boys of Heineken and walked past the snacks and saw the Animal Crackers, and it immediately smashed my face. So the first record we put out, record we put out, it was me and Noah in UDF together. And the first record we put out was, that's just like, we're not Easy Props Productions anymore.
What?
Wow,
easy, so it's Easy Pop, and now you're Animal Crackers, and now you finally tell us this story when I wanted to get the meat of it, and
I told you had to wait for all this shit when I get the boys on. This was all about my dumb ass. I didn't want to make them sit and wait for an hour while you ask me about all the shit that they don't have anything to do with.
Oh, well,
Word.
There we go.
Like all the mixing shit and engineering, they don't want to hear me talk about that. They get tired of that shit. Now we bring us all back and have the Crackers on, and you'll hear a lot more stories.
Oh, I can't wait.
Nah, I mean the thing is that just you've got plenty of stories that everybody like. There's plenty more time, and
well, I'd be more than happy to come back if you guys would have me again.
I would.
That's how we was gonna do it.
I'd talk more shit to the rest of your patrons.
Bro, listen, we are trying to build. Honestly, the thing that the reason why, again, my why was in reaching out to Fresh and getting this, and I know, the brand and everything like that was started by Dibs and Fresh and everybody, and I was around for a time. I put my work in, but I was around for a time, but then I moved on to other things, right? But with cancer and my health and everything like that I battled and came through, and my thing is the doing, right? And one of the things is like hip hop has been a part of me since my entire life, that it's been around, right? So do the doing and getting back to DJing and getting back to doing what it is that I want to do, and having the other podcast was like, I want to do something strictly about hip hop and build this community that was special, because what it was like with to have 88.3 and have B-Boys Underground on the air. It was a beacon of light. You know what I mean? It was the only beacon of light for hip hop.
It was a pat on the back. It was a pat on the back from cats that I hadn't met yet.
Yeah, and so that was the thing, and what we want to do is build this community and build so everybody and all the artists can get together and build this platform for the love of hip hop and all the elements of hip hop, just like how Scribble Jam was in in its inception, with all the elements. You had b-boy battles, you had graph artists, you had DJs, you had MCs, and everybody came together, and those Scribble Jams were something special. And when you were there, it was a special feeling and a special time. And out of respect of all of that, and with the new medium, anybody and everybody can do this. And I think that we have something special here. So absolutely, it would be an honor and privilege to have you back on the show at any point in time. You're a very much welcome guest, and thank you for being on here.
The way you're free, and it's like this is a thing that a lot of people did not know, because we had the radio show, we had the record room, we was DJs in the clubs, we had to deal with sound men, we had to deal with production.
Yeah,
and
I was a sound man.
Right, and we had to
I was too at one point.
And I had a label with artists that needed sound man, so I couldn't do it all myself. And it was just like I would have ingratiated myself to you, You could have mixed my stuff down to save me some work. And
Yeah.
I just got custom my key. It was just like a
Biggest
lot of
lesson
work.
I've learned this far in my life
Go ahead.
is you have to know how to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Jack of all
But you have
trades,
to
and master of
recognize.
all.
But you have to recognize when you don't have to do everything.
Yes, and try to distribute. And that was a big problem with Scribble Jam for me. Was that like, okay, people don't know I do the music too. I used to take my little board to work when I was working at Cincinnati Bell and mix down all these songs on third shift. It was crazy.
Bro, I remember beating up with you in the middle of the night down at the atrium.
I mean, like, that was doing. It was crazy.
Man.
And then I had to worry about record pool, and then like DJs was fighting each other, and give a shout out to all the DJs that ever caused me problems, and all the ones that caused me love. Busy Biz, DJ Scuzzy,
Biz. Biz is still one of my favorite humans.
Yes,
he was a good dude, man. He was a real good dude.
Oh,
him and John Doe, I pretty much say
John Doe.
Yeah,
let's love the John Doe.
They can't be DJs. They're too nice of humans.
They are very beautiful
do you
people.
Want some vinyl? I still
like they're so good. And John's wife, they patron my wife's company, which is awesome. I love it.
That's
and you know what's cool is smoking weed is legal in Ohio now.
Yeah, congratulations to Ohio. Look, and again, I'm a 420 head, so look, light it up. Inhale, exhale. I'll hit
John
you with
Doe.
it.
Oh, damn.
I knew there was a reason why you were in that garage, homie.
Well, this
we've been watching. We've been doing what we do.
Like, and it used to be. It used to be. Now it's just Daddy's cave. It used to be a grow room, and it will be one day. It will be one day again.
Hey, that's mine. Look at
all right. So, since from one head, so I assume that you are, a prosumer if it's a grow room. So, indica sativa, or like just
fuck.
Or how about this? Just favorite.
It depends
strain.
on the time of the. It depends on the time of the day.
I'm the same way. So favorite strain. How about that? Do you have a favorite strain?
I got one.
I had one back in the day. It was called Mujahideen.
Mujahideen. Damn, I've never heard of that one.
This was before they started calling it kind bud. This was OG hippie shit.
Okay.
These are like my mentors.
Okay.
But then I guess more recently, I don't know. Ohio's going some good ass weed, man. I had some Grimace Shake that was fucking awesome.
I've heard that strain. I haven't seen it out there, but I've heard of it.
But there's always your tried and true, the Afghan, little lemon. And I don't mind the haze and wispiness either.
Word.
But,
hey, you got to get him on your smoke show.
If he would be willing to come on, we would absolutely love to have you.
Yeah. What is the? Go ahead, advertise the smoke show because
Usual Suspects.
Yes, the smoke.
show. Yeah. I
get on there.
On the record, I don't know anything about that.
See, there you go. I understand. Totally understand.
And you know DJ Drizzle. I remember he was like the dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He learned Pro Tools off you. He was like, man, Toby, that dude. Because he was doing shit with high tech too.
Yeah. Yep. Well, see, I've always been the cat that you could just call and I'm at the bar hanging out with motherfuckers and they're saying, I don't know how to do this on Pro Tools. And I could just roll my eyes back and tell you exactly where to go.
Yeah. And I started recording.
The question, Ghost, I thought you were going to ask me this earlier. I thought you were going to ask me, who do I call when I have a question?
Well, I was trying to get to that for sure.
tell
I
us.
wanted to know that for sure. Like actually,
Who
for
do
real,
you
for
call
real.
for that dude?
When you do, there's another one I want to ask you too. But yes, please answer that.
And the reason I say that is because I'm not going to tell you.
Oh damn!
Oh,
See, there you
what?
go.
What the fuck is that?
He set me up and punched me in the mouth. Is what he did.
You're
He's
like,
over here pawing at me.
It's one dude. It's one dude, Chip. Chip used to work at ICB back in the day when I was a younger cat.
Oh shit!
Everybody knew
ICB,
Chippy. Come on now.
yo, yeah.
Man,
Chip's a beast. Chip is the smartest technical person that I know of in Ohio.
He was dope. I mean, he still is. I mean, it ain't no.
He's my homie. He's always looked out for me since I was a little snot-nosed teenager.
Don't get your equipment right. Yeah, he was.
Oh no, he's and he still comes out and does some of the heavy, really technical shit at Bootsy's for us. Where it's just like,
man,
when Bootsy doesn't want to spend me, I use my energy up. I only have so much fucking battery, and he knows that now because I'm a dad and I get my shit sucked up all day. So
tell Bootsy I'm ready to give him some beats.
He wants to be sure that I'm my prime hours are spent the right way, and we've talked about that. It's cool, and I appreciate him being honest about recognizing.
I want to make that money. So
and he wants us to be fucking cool.
Yeah,
that's the most important thing. Is us having a good relationship in the studio, and sometimes lots of work and lots of deadlines and lots of details, and lots of life can make just the simplest thing of having an enjoyable time out of the thing you decided to do with your fucking days hard.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like I have a great job, but I have fucking days that suck too.
I bet you do.
It's hard to fail when the expectations are high like that. And I've set expectations at a high level cognitively, which makes me having a subpar day fucked. Right? Because then I let down a big engine.
And I want to get back to like self-employment, and I got to do a job where I'm so good at what I do, but it's not enough money for what I do.
That's why I teach, I perform, I work. I teach 5 days a week at CCM. I go to Bootsy's 3 days a week. I play one show roughly every 2 weeks if I can, and I have rehearsals because I'm trying to play drums again every Sunday.
When last time you played drums?
Live.
Man,
for show. I opened up for the Whalers at Madison Theater.
Damn.
I was supposed to play Friday night for a benefit for the Allman Brothers, all their leftover band members.
The Allman Brothers?
Shout out to the Allman Brothers, bro.
Yeah, the keyboardist had some ear thing or some surgery medical thing, so
Midnight Riders one of
they I guess canceled or whatever. But I'm doing another podcast for the band I'm playing with, which is a live thing at Madison Theater, also the 30th.
Nice.
Let us know.
We'll do like a show or a song interview, 2 songs interviews.
Hell yeah!
So when is this, and how can folks follow so we can go ahead and put that in?
I have no idea.
Okay, fair enough.
He said, I don't know.
So if you actually, if you do find
so there were times in my life when I had a manager who did these things for me, multiple times actually.
Yeah.
And I had endorsements from companies, and all those things seem to go away when all your Facebook posts are about diapers and smushy food.
You know what?
So I'm just kind of coming out of that side of it, and I really don't care. I really don't care. I'm so much more concerned with doing the thing and the rehearsals to get there than the show. But I know it's the 30th, and I know anybody can go. But it's like a different thing from a show. It's like interview style, broke up. So it should be cool. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Well, if you do get it, I'll send you an email just so you have my email, and then
I could probably grab my phone and look at our band chat thing, and it would tell me exactly what the thing
you don't have to worry about that now. I mean, just later on, then I can add it to the episode. So you
Yeah,
folks
yeah.
right
Well,
now,
the band is called the Weathered Feather.
The Weathered Feather. Word.
And it's a mix. It's a mix between. It's a mix between Grateful Dead, Fish, Africa Bambaataa, and Rage Against the Machine.
Damn, nice.
African Bambaataa, Fish. So it's just like really eclectic music, which is,
I love it.
you know,
it's just all very passionate.
You know what?
And half the band is like 20 years younger than me.
I bet they are. Look, anybody.
I said before, reaching forward, reaching backwards. I've learned from my current mentors that they used to share entire generations of knowledge with each other. And we are getting over a fucking episode of My Dick is Bigger Than Yours.
So we need somebody. We need to find somebody that can, like, maybe like a team, maybe one to start with, to like, hey, this, and link it everything together, like, and put a platform together for like, hey, this is what we got going on. Ghost is out in Colorado.
Well, check this out though.
We're out in Cincinnati. Go ahead, go.
We got the platform, but what I want to ask you, because you just said something, right? So the information, the question that I was going to ask you is because you're a teacher as well.
I'm saying, okay.
You're a teacher as well, and as someone that has advice, and you said how important it is to pass down knowledge and information. What would it be that you'd be willing to impart and share and pass down to someone that is looking to get into and do and follow in your path? And what would you say is the most important information that you'd want to pass down for someone to get on the right track? What would you share?
Look out for the bear traps, which you don't know until you step on them. As far as preventative, make the registration and splits of people's efforts on make that part of the workflow.
Well, that's
like make the library of it's like beat, studio, record, mix, Library of Congress, artwork, video, release. That is a song. All of that is a song. Everything else is a sketch.
Yes. And then make sure everybody has their parts to play. So, like, look, I don't steal your money. I like, look.
Oh, yeah. If you said, well, see, that's the whole thing. The whole music industry was set up with this idea we don't really understand what the ground is we're standing on.
Yes.
So you just establish that early. There's two lines of thinking. They call it, one is California, which is basically fuck you, everybody for themselves. And then Nashville, essentially the opposite. You guys could all look this up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like,
and they're like saying stuff, and you're saying stuff, then everybody gets credit for it.
Right.
And there's different modes of understanding how this subtle thing works in the lane. And
you're an engineer. You're
bring that out to the front, right?
And before you even, when you touch it.
Yeah. And well, make the idea of making a song, not just making the song. Because that's what I do. I just make the song and finish it, and then I turn my back on it.
Yeah. But now
I'm really, which is why I have a fucking list of so much shit, and I couldn't even.
Are you free
doing that song?
Do you get paid for everything you're doing? Do you get them residuals? And that's. I looked at my
So it depends on what your credits are, right? So it depends what you're doing.
I'm on.
And there's a whole new school about that for producers too, which I'm not going to dive into because
Yeah.
No, that's for a later show.
Yeah, I don't.
But-
Well, it's also a moving target. So me saying one thing now is out of.
Right, it might be different, like 2 months later,
And there's a lot, and then all that's because of the digital platforms and how the
yeah,
land is, especially the intellectual property, they're starting to shift. And it's like I told you, it's why I don't have a bunch of the animal cracker shit all the way up.
yeah, you did say that. Yeah,
I'm-
that makes sense. That's why you
Things
hold
will
on to
sort
that.
themselves out very soon, I believe.
I think
And
so too.
we're ramping up a bunch of shit.
That's
'Cause
exciting.
The art of what we did, the animal crackers, was all somebody else's stuff. That was the whole reason it was cool, is because it was recycled music,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right? And we used things that everyone knew. So when I grab a small piece of vocal sample from fucking E.T., it says more than the thing that is the dialogue from E.T. It makes you think about how you felt when you saw E.T. And now I'm putting that over fucking Egyptian Lover.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just say Egyptian lover?
And it makes
Egyptian lover.
it
Egyptian
says
lover.
way more to your psyche
Yes.
than me writing that down or any other way I could express it. And that intellectual property violation for the nature of turntablism was dangerous. And I knew that if we just
For producers too.
pause for a minute, and we got our shit pretty organized now and a bunch of great records that we're looking to let happen.
Well, and then the homage paying to it because remember when they DJ Premier said, "Don't stitch on what I'm sampling this from." I mean,
The cat
they
got
got
bad.
headhunters to stop you from.
Not anymore. They don't pay people to do that anymore, G.
They don't, so you can get away.
No. Why the fuck would you pay a person to do it?
You're getting ready to get into what I was getting ready to ask you.
Go
It's
ahead.
another conversation. It's another conversation. Yes, the AI does it better than you can. Does it do it better than me?
They got bots on this. Yeah.
No, but it gets
What do you think about
it gets you
AI's
80
impact?
It gets you 80% of the way. It gets you 80% of the way there.
Yeah, I mean, because that's huge. I mean, just the simple fact that the DOC, we're gonna get a new DOC album
Oh fuck!
with his
ready
original
for that?
voice.
What's your thought on
cannot
that?
wait. I cannot wait. I am so. I mean, as the DOC being one of my favorite. He's one of my top 5 all time.
Until he got his throat fucked up.
MCs. He was so much more. I mean, he is Snoop Dogg. He is Death Row. He is Ruthless. He is West Coast music.
Writer. He was a writer, but
He
not only
he helped
his
shape
first
and
album
produce
was
those people.
incredible. And now you talk about when he got to the car wreck, his throat was fucked up.
But as soon as he gets, I know. As soon as he,
so
I
now they're
can't
gonna
wait.
recreate his voice.
I cannot wait. What's your thoughts on that, Toby?
Go ahead, Tobe. I like the way his camera works. Boy, he looks like he just walking around there. This episode gonna be nuts. Because Toby, when he walk around, it's like he's got a 360 camera. When he walks out there and go do what he do, it looks incredible.
He's
Go ahead,
GoPro'd
Tobe.
up.
Yeah, it looks yeah.
No, I'm not GoPro'd up. I'm holding my laptop.
No, I know.
Nah, that the way it swags around when you walk around.
Well, I'll be honest with you, man. I spent, 2+ years doing Zoom classes through school as a teacher and as a student. And some of the Zoom stuff I had to do while I was going through Berkeley, those people don't fuck around.
Look how that is. Hey, anybody on that's still following us right now and listen to this, watch how his camera works. It looks incredible. It looks like a 3D camera. He walk around, it's just like giving us like this woo. I'm sitting here and like with my little Popeye shirt on. He looking dope. Go ahead.
I made friends with technology a long time ago because I realized, people talk about you feel some way. So really everything is all about emotion. All of our art is about empathy. So when I look to mix somebody's song, and I told you earlier, I find the one thing that's important about it, and all I do is I just put a flashlight on different elements of a song. All I do is I'm focusing the story. It's like a spotlight watching a play, and I'm just focusing on the person that's talking. But it's not a person, it's an instrument.
Do you ever run across music that you just don't like and you still fix
Yes.
it? Boy, because I know, because I think I talked to you a long time ago, and it's like, man, I don't even want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to mix that crappy ass song down.
I've done lots of stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm like, and you still did it good. You still played.
Well, all I did was I asked myself, if I was that artist, what is the thing about this song that I like? And I try to identify with it. And then when I find that thing, all my ability and familiarity with Pro Tools and all mixing EQ tools and versions, all those things just serve that. That's all I do is I just reinforce that story. And it's really easy once you learn how to do it. It doesn't matter if I like it or not.
Yeah, I've produced music I just couldn't stand.
Yeah,
I've really been in that area where I'm like, man, this.
I forget the good shit just as good as I do the bad shit.
Yeah, and then sometimes I'll be like, yeah, because I mixed it, and like, I made your whack song that I wouldn't listen to, because this is how I judge music. Would I willingly listen to this? Would I willingly listen to this if I wasn't forced to listen to it? And that's the songs that I like. And then if I mixed it, and then I've mixed some songs. I've mixed some songs. I'm like, oh God, this sucks. And then sometimes I mix songs that are like, okay, I like this part, that part, and I tell them like, yo, get that dude out of here. I remember one song. It was like,
well, I don't. So I'm not.
Go ahead,
these days, I'm not doing the tracking side of shit. So I just gotta have what people send me. So I'm not involved. You know that. Now, if it's a song that I'm doing, of course, it's only whoever I'm putting on, or if it's something I'm doing for Bootsy or.
Right. Yeah, that's how you on a
shout out to up and comers like Jay Hill.
Jay Hill.
Yeah.
He dope. So
he's the hardest, in my opinion. He's the hardest young MC in Cincinnati.
You need to get linked up
Jay
so you can actually get him on the show.
He's part of POC.
We don't know what that is.
Yeah, y'all should.
POC out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Y'all heard it right here.
Stolitix and Roberto.
Not hip. Are you hip to hip hop period? Are you hip to Mark Bridge and them?
No, I can't say that I am.
Okay. Yeah. Did you listen to Jay Wizzo's Crazy at Home?
No, I haven't. I don't get a chance to listen to shit.
Oh, Jesus. That was pretty good. That's him and his wife.
I know. I love the both of them tremendously. Some of my favorite.
Yeah, so they went out the pocket on that one.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Jay wasn't a bad engineer back in the day. And I can tell you this, he hadn't called me in a while.
Yeah, so he called Tobe like, yeah.
He don't need shit now. Oh no, he don't need shit now. He's good.
He said, I'm the baddest engineer.
Jay got landing gear out. Fuck off.
You talked to Drizzle lately? Yeah, like I talked to Drizzle the other day. I went over my brother's house. And high tech, like what Drizzle was doing, because Drizzle started learning Pro Tools. And boy, your name came up like a motherfucker.
Well, if when it comes to Pro Tools and that ain't.
Zarnock, all that. That was
I ain't met anybody around here.
Word.
I've only seen a couple. I've only seen a couple sessions from people through Bootsy where I've been like, "Oh shit!"
Now hold on.
I thought I was a badass.
Now the one
And I got showed up. I can tell you flat out.
Are you
Where
able
you
to share
showed
who
up?
them? Are you able to share who they were?
Yeah, Dre's dude, Drew Bledsoe.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
You like it, Dr. Dre's dude?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not to be fucked with.
And
there's a bunch,
I
and
always,
there's a bunch of other sessions too that are random, but I've seen a couple from him, and every time I was just like, okay, I ain't really.
Did you guys ever chop shop up, and did he ever talk
not
about
too
like
much.
didn't talk about like what it was, working with him?
No, not too much, but I did find a archive of samples.
Oh,
maybe once or twice.
and that's, like I learned this from myself. I didn't put out music because I did not like my sound quality. I would tell you that on air. I did not like my sound quality, and I held music back. Like I had music just lined up. I don't like the way it sounded. I like the way I recorded it.
Well, there's
Sometimes I like.
there's a lot of reasons why people separate church and state when you're making music.
Yeah. Because I'm a producer.
There's a reason that those great records that we all look back to have a recording engineer, a mixing engineer, and a mastering engineer. And
everything.
Those people are usually 3 different people in 3 different environments. What that means is you have 3 opportunities to evaluate what's going on with a body of work that might not be evident in any of those single environments, under any of those single persons' steerage.
I wanted that. I had a dude, and he passed away. His name was Keith.
That's why. This is why it went.
Yeah, because he said, man, he told me, like, he said, I'm not fucking with your mix. Send me your mix, I will master it.
Fresh.
And
Nowadays, for $2,000, you can do everything you want in your house, and you wonder why your mixes don't sound like anything else.
So repeat that and tell the folks what you mean by that. As far as for $2,000, what are you referring to? What's the investment? The laptop?
1-900 pay Tobe. TOBE.
Boom.
That makes sense.
Got it.
Hey, you remember Ill Poetic?
Boy.
I gave him T-Rex long time ago. So I was fucking with T-Rex. He said, man, he told me probably a year ago, he was like, Fresh, T-Rex was the best shit you ever gave to me. He said, and he used it. I didn't get to use it like that. I was struggling with it. I was doing my shit and trying to fuck with it. He got it and he used it. He said, man, his shit sounded like Ill Poetic. Cold as fuck.
I teach my students to understand the physics of audio and what everything does, and then it doesn't matter what platform you work on.
Right, in and out, and like we know if you got garbage in, it's garbage out.
People ask me like, what should I be working in? Pro Tools, Logic, Digital Performer, Ableton?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
What's your
FL
answer?
Studio? I say
Right.
this. What are your friends using? Don't be on an island. If you need help, be able to call somebody. That's the first thing I would say. Number
How do you
two,
get your sound right?
that's why when you sit at a table, you get a fork, a knife, and a spoon. You can use whatever you want. You just look fucking stupid and waste time eating soup with a fork. All ponies have tricks. Right?
Here you
Now
go.
what I can tell you,
Preach.
and this will be the period on my sentence. There's a reason Pro Tools has been the benchmark for mixing audio.
Mm-hmm.
They have a patent on some shit that none of us are smart enough to recognize.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it sums audio is better than the people who don't own the patent.
Okay.
And I can tell you that's why 95+% of the songs we all love and hear are mixed now in Pro Tools. Arrangement, Logic, beats made in whatever, track whatever.
Right.
There's a summing thing that happens. There's something else going on.
Yes.
And that's, in my opinion.
It just produces a tone and a richness and the quality of the final product. Is that what you're speaking to?
It approximates what actually happens in an analog environment closer than any other DAW does. And it has to do with a bunch of nerdy shit that I'm not even smart enough to read.
Fair enough. But that's how it impacts it.
What are your plugins and everything? Like I use Ozone.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like third-party plugins, they work across all the DAWs. So the same favorite plugins I use in Pro Tools, I use in Logic, as long as they're not as long as they're not host-based, right? Because I can't use Logic plugins in Pro Tools, and I can't use Pro Tools plugins in Logic. But all the third-party shit, I can use anywhere I want to.
You're right. There you go.
And that includes virtual instruments.
As y'all listen to this, well, we still just kicking it, and
that was it. That was all you guys got. That was the period.
Boom. And with that, I understand. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tobe.
It's been my pleasure. Truly humbled to be able to have a soapbox.
You'll be back, bro.
So
I'll be back, bro.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Well,
that's my beat right there.
I plan to live for another 15 years. So.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, Tobe.
Yes, sir.
Shout outs.
Animal Crackers, Bootzilla Productions, the fucking Nasty Natty,
Absolutely.
And my mom, my dad, and my 2 beautiful daughters.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Man, hell yeah, man. G-Fresh.
I mean, Tobe. Ghost Boogie. Everybody, we about to get Thanksgiving. We didn't kept y'all too later, but hey, better later than later. We didn't just drop some science to y'all. This is what our podcast gonna do. We love it, and we're gonna be in the back room. Everybody that's been shouting out, I see y'all. I done tried to give shout outs to all y'all. Love y'all. This is how we do.
Yes. Rallo. So check this out. I want to say thank you first and foremost to the guests, Isiah Ollie.
Shout out to Isiah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
And Tobe.
Prolific human. He is. He's a prolific human, I can tell.
Absolutely. Looking forward to having him back on the show again. And again, thank you so much, Tobe. Been an awesome time. Want to say thank you so much, G-Fresh and Big Weeze, and of course everyone that's tuned in, that's been rocking with us. Much love to each and every single one of y'all. Happy holidays, and don't forget, tomorrow night, Usual Suspect Sesh number 116. That's right, 116. And we're gonna have possibly the homie Freak Bait with a pop-up. He's gonna either be on tomorrow night or he'll be on, but we will be rocking with you at the normal Usual Suspect time. That is 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Pacific. We are B-Boys Underground. We love you. We thank you. Have a beautiful night.